Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Welcome to RossonARI TV. We are going to be talking about the game we just saw, Real Madrid versus AC Milan. Milan continues to dominate the European tour. Milan is the champion of the world. Milan just beat Man City, beat Real Madrid. I think it is official. We are the best team that has ever existed in the history of the planet. And Furlani Cardinale cooking. Guys, today I have no choice. Today I have no choice but to represent because you beat Man City, you beat Real Madrid. Now I'm with you. Now I see the plan. I see the plan now. I see where we're going. I like this. Now then we got to beat Barcelona, and then that's it. Tour complete. American tour a success. Um, but yeah, in all seriousness, my thoughts on the game. I'll give you my thoughts on the game, and then we will. It's an open live, by the way, so anybody can join. Let me put the link. But let me do that first, and then I'll give you my thoughts. Give me a second here. It is the Milan Forum format. Yeah, no, for sure, Forza Redbird. I'm sold. I'm 100% sold. Fonseca is what, guys? Convince me. Try and convince me that Fonseca is not better than Ancelotti and Guardiola. Try and convince me. This man just schooled Guardiola. He just schooled Fonseca. Tell me this guy is not better than both those two coaches. Who has the balls? Who has the balls to convince me? Who has the balls to convince me that he is not better than those two coaches? Who has the balls to convince me that Fonseca is not two steps ahead of Ancelotti and two steps ahead of Guardiola? Who the fuck is going to convince me? I'm really curious. But so let's talk a little bit about the first half. I want to talk a little bit about the first half because the first half is what kind of took my attention a little bit more. So the first half, I think, as far as rosters go, I think there was a little bit of a balance between the both of us. Um, I think there was. Hold on, let me just give me a second here. I think there's a balance between. What's up, Antonio? How you doing, bro?
Yo, how's it going? I'm doing good.
Good. Yeah. So on the first half, the rosters were more or less balanced, meaning Real Madrid was playing senior team players. They did have a few more academy players than we did, but maybe two more. I think they had four or five, and I think we had three, I believe. So it was a pretty balanced affair. And that's what was interesting to me. And Milan started off pretty well, but after Madrid got their feet together, what I saw, what I noticed, what I couldn't help but notice is that I saw the exact same issues that we had last season, where the midfield is going to be as open as the Pacific Ocean. It's going to be as open as a prostitute's women's legs in Amsterdam at midnight on a Friday night. And that was the most concerning thing to me. It looked like Real Madrid kind of went through our midfield pretty easily. So it's exactly the same thing that was happening last season. And because we are playing the exact same formation, it's a very basic formation. My opinion is that in order for Fonseca to cook, he needs the best players because he's not really building anything special. It's just a very basic 4-2-3-1. and they're trying to build from the back, and they're trying to find each other. But it's not anything special. There's a reason why his name is Fonseca, not Guardiola. And that is what caught my attention the most out of it. Is that to me he seems like a very basic coach, basic tactics, basic anything. The thing that would make the difference is if we had world class players. You put world class players there, then that can help him out. But as far as ideas, as far as tactics, as far as strategy, it's exactly the same shit. There's absolutely no difference between what we saw last year and what we saw this year. So overall, I feel pretty negative, but I don't care about the win. Honestly, who cares about the win? Nobody gives a shit about the win. Um, but as far as just the first half, second half, it was just a mess. Too many subs. I mean, at that point, at the second half, you can't really judge anything. It's a mess. Both teams are just it's a messy affair. But the first half, it was just like watching Pioli. It was just like watching a Pioli game. Honestly, it was just like watching a copy and paste of last season. And I don't know. I left a little bit of a sour mouth in my taste. I was hoping to see something a little bit different, but I'm not seeing that. And then we'll talk about the players. But Antonio, what about you? What did you think about the game? Go ahead.
Yeah, so just a reminder that I don't deal in hyperbole with the preseason. So whatever I say, I'm just gonna point out about the game, and I'm not making some big narratives. Okay. So what I did, let's start with what I liked. I thought that we were a bit more compact, like in the sense that the lines were closer together. Um, like I think that in the past we've been a little bit more open. So I did notice that the defensive line was higher up and the pressing was pretty decent, I thought. And the midfield, I did think that we were guarding man to man. Yes, Real Madrid had opportunities where they went through and they created chances. But overall, I didn't think that we were like obviously terrible. I think there were some other concerns that I'll talk about. I also like that Loftus Cheek was playing deeper because I really don't like him as a cam. I think that so he was playing as more of like he was lower receiving the ball, which is I don't know. Pioli played him more like a cam, but I thought that I like him better like this because I'd rather have someone who's a bit more technical, like Liberali playing up top. So there's that, and yeah, I mean the result doesn't matter to me. Like we had huge chances, but at the same time, Real Madrid like there were also parts of the game that I'll talk about that weren't that good. And the last thing I'll say that I liked is that I do like seeing the young players, and I think Fonseca is doing a solid job of not of like giving players opportunities. I think like especially like Salamakers, he did pretty solid again. I thought Jimenez was good. Like I do think that the rotation has been good, and everyone's getting a chance to show themselves. We'll see if they end up staying, but I thought that was pretty good. Now, in terms of things I didn't like that sometimes when we had possession, it was a little bit like Pioli, where we would just pass the ball kind of slowly. This was like at the end of the first half, where we had some possession, but then we didn't really do anything with it because we were kind of like standing still, which kind of reminded me of Pioli. And also like whenever we're getting countered, we do a bad job of tracking the midfielders. So that is because I do think we need a more like defensive midfielder or someone who's more who comes back more. Um, so there were chances for Real Madrid like at the edge of the box, which is a really vulnerable area, especially against like teams like Inter. So I do think we have to improve that still. And yeah, I think besides that, I mean like I don't know. Those were the biggest areas that I just pointed out. But I mean of again, like you said, I'm not to say that Fonseca is gonna change the trajectory of the club. I think he's doing okay so far. I mean, it's again, I agree that it's not very different from Pioli, but we'll see what he does. It's not like it's been like I was worried that we would be awful. I do think that at least there was some structure after like 3 games, so that is somewhat of a positive. I was worried that he could be completely awful. and collapse. Again, that may happen during the regular season, but I mean, it's not like I'm not like panicking. I guess not like super optimistic either, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, look, for me, after having seen now 3 games of Fonseca, the difference is not going to be him. The difference has to be the players. It has to be, and I don't know if the players we're getting are really going to make that difference. But he's nowhere near a Gasperini. He's nowhere near a Conte. He's nowhere near an Inzaghi. He is pretty. I mean, it's pretty basic. He he wasn't a genius yesterday. He didn't become a genius today. Um, so right now, and this is just right now. Obviously, things can change depending on what the team looks like when we have our starters. My opinion right now, based on what I'm seeing, is that it's not going to be that different from last season. I think we're probably going to see the same kind of issues. The midfield is going to get run over. We're going to concede a lot of goals. We're going to score a lot of goals for sure because we have a lot of players that can score lots of goals. But the structure, the defensive structure of the team is nothing special. And at least that's what it looks like to me right now. Then maybe things are going to be completely different. Maybe when the season starts, I was wrong, and Fonseca happens to be Guardiola and Ancelotti put together. But I don't see much difference from last season. So Omar says I don't know how you can say it's the same thing as Pioli. We played zero long balls. That is not true. We did play some long balls. The press is higher and more intense. The press is higher. I thought we were getting squashed a lot from what I saw. I mean, the goal that we scored was because of a high press. That was Tomori. Tomori should get a lot of credit for that goal that we scored because he won the ball in a good area, which gave Liberali a nice chance to set up a Chukwueze for the goal. We controlled the ball a bit. My thing, Omar, is this, and I am a little bit worried that people have hate Pioli so much that anything is better than Pioli, right? It's like it's almost like this psychological thing. Like nobody is worse than Pioli. Pioli is the worst that has ever existed. Fonseca is the savior. I think there's a little bit of that going on right now in the Milan universe amongst the fans. But I think if you look at it objectively, there's really not much difference between these two coaches. I don't think there's much difference. Um, Antonio, do you think that's going on? There is a little bit of like a lot of people have so much contempt for Pioli and that contempt is a little bit obfuscating their judgment. I would say. Would you say there's a little bit of that going on?
Yeah, I will say that like if you ask the average fan, it's not like they're like praising Fonseca. I mean, there are people that are excited about him, and there's optimistic fans. But yeah, I think everyone, a lot of people thought that we wanted to move on from Pioli, so they want to see something like they just, a new manager with, and maybe they think. I mean, it's only been 3 games as well, so I think they're trying to, people are trying to be a little optimistic towards Fonseca, just because he is a different person. I hope his tactics aren't the same exactly, but I mean, I don't know. Like I do, there are some subtle differences, like in terms of I do think that he's doing a better job rotating the youth players, and I did see a lot of really good players get opportunities. So that was a little bit different because I feel like with Pioli, it was a little bit more of like you would only sub in players at like the last 10 minutes of the game, and it was a little bit like disorganized. Whereas these guys are coming in, yeah, they're a little bit older, but they're all fitting into a role that's clear and defined, and they're all like showcasing something, which is I mean that's it's only been 3 games, but I just want to point that out. So I mean there are some things to take away, but like again, it's like overall the tactics aren't that different. I agree.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see similar things from last season. But I don't know. Hopefully, honestly, hopefully I'm wrong, dude. Oh, hopefully, hopefully Fonseca turns out to be a gem that no one knew about. Hopefully. I'm just as of now, I am not seeing anything special. I'm not seeing anything special. Again, I emphasize this, and then I want to talk about the players. I think the thing that can save Fonseca is players. If they can give him some good players, and then the other thing, actually, before we talk about the players, I'm seeing a lot of this talk about having Leao, Pulisic, Chukwueze, and Morata up top. Yeah, who's defending? Those three guys, Leao, Pulisic, and Chukwueze, these guys are very low work rate players. They don't help defensively. So I'm seeing a little bit of these wild, I don't know, ideas. But we'll see. We'll see, guys. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. We'll see how. Honestly, we'll really find out who Fonseca is in a few months, because even now he's only had the team for a few weeks. It's not like all of a sudden the team is playing the way he wants them to play. It doesn't work like that. It takes time. We will see exactly what it looks like in a few months when the team will be completely amalgamated into his system. It's just my opinion right now is that it seems like it's not much is going to change. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. We'll see. Fonseca needs more time with the team to click. He still doesn't have the full team available. Probably needs another 2 months. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was saying right now. I mean, we'll probably see here what the deal is in a few. Now, remember, guys, last time Fonseca was in Italy, he conceded a shitload of goals both seasons. That is really what we want to see. Honestly, it doesn't. I know people want to focus on how does he play. Is it going to be entertaining? Is it going to be this or that? Guys, last year Pioli scored 99 goals. Scoring goals is not the problem. The problem is conceding goals and winning against big teams. So the two things that we really need to judge Fonseca on in these upcoming months is his system solid defensively, and can he give a team a mentality that allows you to beat the bigger teams? These are the things that we're going to judge. But as far as the football goes, I don't see much differences. Nathan, what's up, man? How you doing, bro?
Mm.
Very low.
Let's see here. Well, yeah, you can continue. I'm gonna try and fix my audio.
No, I think I hear you now. I just got to talk a little bit louder.
Okay.
Guys, can you? I'm talking. Can you hear? Can you hear?
I can hear him.
Nathan? Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right, let's go with the analysis of the game. Then AJ, give me your analysis of the game. What's up, brother? And then let's not talk about players. Let's just talk about the game. Then I want to talk about the players. All right,
Yep.
go ahead. Nathan, what did you think of the game? Go ahead.
I mean, it's pretty much the same as what we've seen last year. Um, we have good moments and then bad moments. I think in the first half, if this was like a Champions League game, I would have been really mad because we missed two clear chances with the Chukwueze and Nasty. Liberali for me is a top notch player, but I mean it's a preseason game, so it's whatever.
Okay, that's it. That's a quick analysis. All right.
I mean, nothing really happened. I mean,
Yeah. We're going to talk about the players. Look, I know you probably have a lot to say about the players. We're going to get into that conversation right after AJ. AJ, what did you think about the game?
Talking about the game. Is my audio good?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay. I didn't see the first 15 minutes. Milan was doing good. See, it's just a warm-up game for Madrid. I'm not gonna go too much in depth. But the defense is shaky. That was a big call out. It's definitely shaky, um, especially on the corners of the boxes. It's so. If you notice, I've seen this twice or thrice. Is that both the central defenders were marking the lone attacker up front, but then the guys on the midfield and the guys in the wings were making late runs, and the danger was there. So I hope we can fix our defense. We really need to, and Shrinya might be able to do that. But yeah, some things to look forward to, some things to fix.
Okay. All right. So yeah, overall, this game not super important. It does give us a little bit of information, but let's talk about the players. Let's start with the young ones. Let's start with the main attraction, the main man or the main teenager, Liberali.
Yeah,
Antonio, what do you think of Liberali? And then let's go to Nathan, AJ, I'll go last.
I think everyone's on the same page. So he's I think 17 years old, and we saw him with the Primavera, and also we saw him in the Euros this summer, doing really, really good. I watched those games. Uh, and so he's just consistently been a good player. And in these friendlies, he's been really impressive because, especially like the physicality he has, like the assist that he had today was like he really held off the player behind him, and then he laid the ball off really, well as he was getting pushed, and it was a perfect pass. So that was a very good play. But not only that, I he also his technical skills were really good. I like that. Unlike a lot of other players in our midfield right now, that I do think which is an issue. He's a player that has really good, like obviously technical skills and close control. So when we try to play, progress forward, it's usually a problem because we don't have a lot of players that are technical in the tight spaces. But today he had a few times where he was able to break through and had a few nice dribble moves. He also almost had an assist earlier in the game with a little touch. So yeah, he's been really good. He's been, I'm very happy he started today. He played most of the game, and he looks like he can play first team football in Serie A, to be honest. But I heard the debate you guys were having. Like at the end of the day, as long as he's still on Milan and he's playing with, he's developing. I don't mind him playing for Milan Futuro if we're gonna get other players like Samardžić, and like it's gonna be a full team anyways. But I think he would be ready to contribute.
He, honestly speaking, he looks better than Samardzic. I wouldn't even, honestly speaking, I wouldn't even go for Samardzic. I would just go with him. But yeah, no, I agree. I agree there. Nathan, what did you think of Liberali?
I thought it was really good. You can definitely tell he grew in more confidence. His touch and vision is like the announcers. I don't know if anyone's paying attention to what they were saying, but they kept commenting on how good his passing is, and I mean he has perfect layoffs, which is will be really important, especially for players like Leao and Morata, who, oh well, particularly Morata, who's not very fast. So someone who can give a good weighted pass is very badly needed. The only thing I want him to do more is demand the ball, because there are large moments where he's kind of like not in the game, but that's just due to his age and he's still learning. But I want him to kind of look at how Brahim Diaz plays. Diaz is literally everywhere demanding the ball. He wants to dictate the play. And that's what I want Liberali to do. And once we saw what he can do when he gets the ball and he starts dribbling. So he just needs to keep doing more of that, and he needs to want to be the man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. AJ, what do you think? What did you think of Liberali?
Exciting prospect. I love him. Want to steal a line from what Nathan said. Perfect layoffs, and there are wingers who could use that a lot. However, better than Samardzic? No. I think what will help him is playing for a Serie A team, more first team play. Hopefully not with the Futuro in Serie C. But yeah, exciting prospect. I love him. Guy's awesome. He needs some first team action is what I feel. That's more important.
Yeah, and I think that there's you can go from your B team to the senior team. I know Juventus did it.
As long
There's
as
a
you're not like
number.
22 or 23 or something like that.
Say what?
I think you have to, as long as you're not like 22 or 23, I think you're able to do that.
Ah, okay, okay. There you go. And I think there's also like an amount of games that you have to that you can't surpass. But I think we are probably going to see Liberali a little bit more. I'll tell you what. Listen, you guys talked about his technical side, so I'll go with the physical side. That physical side to me is there. You know, like Antonio mentioned, that the assist was him winning a physical duel and then using that momentum physically to do the assist. And again, even the first game against Rapid Vienna, that team there, um, physically, him winning the ball in the midfield is what I'm looking at. I know he can play football. I know he's got good feet. I know he's a super talented. It's just like it always comes down to the question: is he too young to play with the adults? From what I'm seeing, no. From what I'm seeing, he can play with the adults.
And
Now, I'm not saying he's supposed. Yeah.
um, one other thing I'd like to point out, look at him compared to when Loftus Cheek is playing there and notice the difference.
Yeah,
So,
obviously more quality would come out
right.
there.
So I think Liberali, if they keep
Liberal.
if they keep them, Pulisic or Chukwueze, on the wings, I mean, Liberali can easily play as the second person. Like he can easily play backup or even start a few games for sure. I don't
Yeah,
think he needs to go to
absolutely.
the Futuro team.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he can be in both. That's the advantage. That if he doesn't play with the first team, he can play with them. At least he's playing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um, but I am. It was a big question that, for example, I've had for a long time. Even with Camarda, are these guys ready to play for the first team? I say yes. I look at Cuenca, for example. I don't know if Cuenca is ready for the first team. Let's talk a little bit about Cuenca. What do you guys think? Do you guys see the same confidence, the same? I don't see it with Cuenca. I think
I,
Cuenca needs more time, but
I
Liberali is
actually
ready.
I actually think they're both equally ready. I think they're both equally good, but Liberali has better IQ and he knows when to pass the ball and when to dribble. Because Cuenca, if this is a normal season game, he would have cost us a goal with his poor decision making.
Yeah, but that's why I don't think he's ready. I think he needs to just a little bit more, just a little bit more. Physically, obviously, he's ready. He's huge, but is he going to take Chukwueze's spot away? I don't know. I don't know. And what about you guys? Anything on Cuenca, Antonio?
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like physically, I think he is ready. He's actually like he's pretty tall for a winger, and he looks like he's a good profile. But I agree that he was just kind of doing some reckless things tonight. Lost the ball pretty dangerously. I mean, again, we're judging him kind of like a little bit too much on like a few minutes that he played tonight. But yeah, he definitely was a little bit more like you could tell he seemed younger in the way that he was sort of thinking on the field. So I wouldn't be too confident, especially in his position. I don't think we're going to be seeing him in the first team like anytime soon. I
I
think
mean,
he's going to be developing.
tell me if you guys disagree with this. Even when it comes to Terracciano, I feel like Liberali is readier than Terracciano. Are you
Jeez.
getting? Are you getting that vibe too?
Oh, easily.
Yeah, without overhyping, I do think like he looks like a senior team player. Terracciano, I thought was decent tonight. Defensively, I think he's solid. I just think that with Terracciano, it's a little bit like like he kept trying those nutmegs, and he got like one nutmeg, but he lost the ball twice. Like his technical, sometimes he's like he thinks he has more time, and he just wastes the ball. But yeah, I think that Achano wasn't bad, but I do see that like Liberali looks more like a young talent, like a player who is going to be able to reach his potential. You know what I mean? Like it's so I did see him much more seamlessly playing off of the other players and integrated.
Yeah, what I'm saying about Terechon is like obviously physically he's ready, he's a beast, but he just seems like he needs more time to adapt, to get in tune. While it looks like Liberali is already there. AJ, what did you think of Cuenca and Terracciano?
Um, I didn't see too much of Cuenca actually. Um, in the sense that I may have missed his bits. Terechano was okay. I didn't see anything special, but he was doing his bit, throwing in his body when required, tackling the guys. Pretty normal. Are they ready for the first team? I'm sure they are. It's just not Milan first team. Send them back into Genoa, send them back into Calgary, wherever. Let them get that experience. I'm sure they'll do well there, and then you can call them back. But I feel they're just not Milan ready yet. They are first team ready, just not Milan first team.
Yeah.
Terracciano is going to stay, that's for sure.
I agree.
But about the younger prospects, the other ones, I was saying, yeah, find them a find them a loan at a mid-table team and send them packing there for a season or two.
I just want to say, like the timing of Camarda and Liberali from the Primavera and the youth sector is pretty interesting, and I do think that these guys are. We're gonna see what like something like Juventus is doing, where they have these guys from the youth that they were able to integrate into the first team as consistent players. I don't think Milan, before like these past few years, Milan has had trouble doing that, and we've been building, especially going back to the old management as well. You have to give them credit. Um,
Well, I don't think we had
we've been,
trouble
you
with
know, I think
with
we've seen significant improvements there.
I don't know. I think each year we've actually always have had like one or two good players. It just comes down to whether or not you're willing to play them. Like eventually it just takes too long and their growth is just stunted. But each year we've always had one or two people who have been good.
Well, I don't think we've had a player like Camarda.
Wait,
He hasn't reached
each year? I
maybe.
don't think so. At least not during the Banta era.
No, that's
And
not true.
So
in the past two,
okay,
Even
3 years, who
even
are we talking
even
about? Who
but
under 20 performed well?
let's say that Liberal Camarda maybe they're a little bit more special, but what Nathan is saying is essentially like because I think what you're saying is because of the system that we had prior to having our B team, these players go to Serie B, go to Serie C, and you forget about them. You know,
yeah.
you don't have control over them. You forget about them. And like Antonio was saying, with Juventus, ever since they had their B team, now they have all these players coming in and out, and they're in control of them. That there's so many, and they're using them also for the market. And so I think the difference this time is that we have control over the players, and we can bring them to the first team, and they can go back and forth, and we can see their value. Because when you have, for example, Colombo, you don't know if Colombo is good because he's never with the team. You don't know. You don't know what he looks like with the first team in the middle of the season because he's never there. But now with the B team, you can see, you can find out. I think that's the difference in the end.
Yeah. Yeah, the B team for sure. I'll say it over and over. The B team should be for the players who are almost there, but just not quite there. Like I don't want the Liberalis and the Zerolis to be playing there. Those guys need to be with the first team because they are ready. But I mean, we already have a ton of players, so there's really not much you can do about it. But that's how I feel in regards to the second team.
Mm.
That's one of
And
my concerns because, like you just kind of mentioned, I know that we're giving Fonseca time, at least that's what I think, to decide who stays and who goes. But, if you're going to wait till the end, you're going to have to do a lot of operations and you're going to have to try to send people out. So I'm a little bit worried about the timing of everything. And the season's going to start soon. So
Yeah.
it's like, how are we going to get all this done? Like, we have to decide who's going to get loaned out, sold. And if we bring in a striker, we have Jovic and Okafor that are on the fringes of the team. What's going to happen to them?
Don't even mention Jovic. Oh my god.
Oh wait, yo, who the fuck is this
Oh
guy,
my
Cassie?
god.
This motherfucker called me a bozo. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. You piece of shit. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, what's going on?
Motherfucker. This piece of shit called me a bozo. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking piece of shit. Alright, go ahead. Sorry. Fucking asshole piece of shit. Fucking
Bro,
elbow you in
who are you even
the
talking
mouth,
about?
you motherfucker. Alright, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, we have a lot of these guys, we don't have enough room for them. So I don't know. I kind of feel bad. Like, who are we gonna kick out?
Yeah, but look at Jovic.
Exactly.
Jovic came in and did nothing for 20 minutes. We could have looked at every time Camarda has touched the field, it's been for 8 minutes at a time. So you're never gonna know how good he can play.
I liked what Kamada was doing when he came in. The few things that he did, like he was actually pretty physical. Jovic, here's the thing, like, yes, I don't like biggest thing with Jovic is I don't think he's really, he doesn't put in 100% effort. I don't really think he's always like match fit, and he doesn't really press that well. I do think, like, I don't want to hate on the guy. I mean, he did score some nice goals, and like he wasn't completely awful last season. Like, it is a little bit harsh. I think, like, as a third striker, he could be fine, but we're also now linked with another striker that because I think Fonseca wants to get somebody to complement Morata, as,
Yeah,
like,
Abram.
Yeah.
which I'm all in favor of that. But I'm just
No,
worried.
that's ridiculous.
No,
That is ridiculous.
no, you didn't say that. Antonio, don't tell
Really?
me.
Yeah,
That is
No, you didn't just
ridiculous.
say that. I think
Okay. We have a
I'm
debate.
dreaming.
We have a debate here.
we'll
There's
have a debate.
no
All right.
way. There's
Let's
no
get
way
into it.
you can think that.
I love Abraham.
Oh my God,
Listen,
living my
Abraham is
nightmare.
not a terrible player, but bro, we have Morata. The best person for Camarda. If you watch Camarda, he doesn't play like a traditional number 9. He likes to help build up play. He's good with his feet. He's literally like a Morata. Abraham, he's nothing like him. What is he going to learn from him? This is just such a waste.
No,
Ooh.
I want Abraham because I think he's like, what, 26 or 27. I forget. I think he's like in his prime now. I look at a guy, this is just strictly for performance and for this season and for the next few seasons. Like, when he came into Italy, he had a very good season. The second season wasn't as good. He got injured last year, and that kind of ruined his whole trajectory. And like, he should have been improving. And I really like what he brings, and I think that we need I want someone that can come in that has a lot of upside, and you get an like, if you can get him on a loan and you're bringing in a player who has had good seasons, it is a
Antonio,
bit of a risk.
you're
Of course.
missing some
You have
very
Morata
crucial
as-
information.
You have Morata as a reliable striker, and you bring this guy in as someone who can maybe give you the edge. I think he's got a good physical presence up top, and he can do a bit of everything. He can get in behind as well.
Antonio,
And his target man skills aren't awful. So I actually really
Antonio,
like Abraham when
you
he
are missing some very crucial information here. Abraham is a striker who needs to play all the time. If he's not getting the minutes all the time, he ain't scoring goals. Coming off the bench, he ain't going to be reliable like that. He's a striker who, if you have Morata coming off the bench because of his technique, he will be okay. Abraham is not in that same category.
I think Abraham, like, listen, we're playing, of course, we have many competitions. I think Abraham would have opportunities, and also he's still, like, I think he got a little injury again at the beginning in training, nothing serious. Like, he's still easing back into, like, being fully, fit. So I think you can give him time to build in. And if you put him around players, like, he's got really good chemistry with some of our players. If you put him in our,
Like who?
he could do well, I think.
Like who? Who does he have good chemistry with?
Oh, Tomori.
But don't you think Abraham Morata is a luxury?
Well, what do you mean? What did you say?
Don't you think Abraham and Morata, having Abraham and Morata in the team is a luxury? Like, it's better than what we've had before in the past
I
maybe
agree.
two.
I'm just.
Or do you not agree, Nathan?
No, like I said, Abraham's not a bad player, but he's a player that needs to play all the time. That's the only problem I'm having with that.
But I think Abraham is like, okay, I agree that when he was his best, but I think that he's at an age where if he can stay healthy, what if he's motivated enough, which by the way, he really wants to come to the club from what the news sources are saying. If he's motivated enough, you could get a player at a discount
Why
that
not keep
is in his
Colombo?
prime.
Why
And
not keep Colombo?
I mean, well, Colombo's already he's been loaned out at this
But
point.
that's my problem, though. Why not keep Colombo?
I think I'm going to say this. I think Abraham right now can give you much more
No,
for this season than Colombo can. That's just but I mean, Colombo's not bad. Like I just think Abraham is a little bit older and he's already shown that he can have a really, really good season. Like I think Abraham there's more of a chance that he can he can fight for the number one striker position. I don't think Colombo would be able to win it from Morata. Where I think if Abraham is healthy, he has everything he needs to like fight for that spot.
The
Don't
only
use the
thing
word but. Go ahead.
Abraham is fighting for is a number one spot on the bench.
Yeah, that's the thing that is weird to me. Abraham and Morata, one of them is not going to be happy for sure. One of them is not going to be happy, and that's the price you pay if you want depth in your team. Though you're going to have some people that are not going to be so happy. But I think there is a little bit of truth. Actually, there's a lot of truth in what Nathan is saying, that Abraham is a kind of player that needs continuity. That he needs.
And that's with any striker. Any
Yeah,
striker who wants to be
that is true.
to consider themselves as prolific has to play in. It's a numbers game. Strikers are a numbers game for the majority of them. Obviously, the best strikers will more often than not score, but for average strikers like Abraham, everything's a number. So if he's only getting 15 minutes, 20 minutes each game, he's not going to get enough chances to even get into form. It's just not going to happen. That's why I said Morata's. If Abraham's the
But
starter,
Nathan,
if
the
Abraham's the
upside
starter, yeah, go ahead.
the upside is, are you going to bring in Morata or Abraham for those 15 or 20 minutes, or are you going to bring in a Jovic? It's like
But
you are bringing up the level.
I think also I think he's just gonna have a good amount of chances with the way that we play. I mean, people can not like Fonseca, but at the end of the day, we do think we're gonna still create a lot of chances. So I think it's good, and I think that Abraham isn't going to be someone who's going to be complaining at the beginning of the season to be immediately the number one. I think he's going to come in and he's going to be like, "Dang, I have a chance to come to a team that is bigger than where I've been, and I have to prove myself at this team." Morata also seems like a really good like teammate to have. I don't think he really ever fights with his teammates, and he seems like a mature player where I'm sure he wouldn't have like personal issues or anything.
Okay, this is where I think Nathan will agree with me. I don't know if AJ or Antonio will agree with me. Why don't we just put Camarda as the second striker?
yeah, that's what I personally would do. I would not waste any time or development with Abraham. If he comes, cool. He will be a good asset. I'm not going to sit here and say he won't be a good asset,
Yeah,
but
that's for sure. Yeah.
but we have an outlier of a striker, and instead of working with him, we're just going to send him to play with rejects in Series C. Like, come on, man.
Here's my like premise though. Like I'm thinking under the premise of what's most likely to happen. And so I think that Camarda is going to be a year in the futuro. Maybe I don't know. Wait, guys, is anyone by the way, Has anyone clarified what the rules are for if they can play within the Serie A?
Yeah, they can.
Okay, so that's good. So I think he's gonna play in the Futuro, and then he's gonna have some games with the first
Yeah.
team. But that's what's
Yeah.
gonna happen, I think, for this season. Same probably with Liberali, although he is on his track to convincing Fonseca to make him a first team.
We have
See, but
too
this is
many, too many strikers. We want our space for Kamada. We
Yeah,
have
but this,
Okafor, Morata, and then who else? Jovic. We've got enough strikers, man. I don't. Then too many strikers. Even for a 4-3-3 system, there are as many strikers as required. And I would say Kamada is too soon. Too soon.
So I was saying, so I think Camarda is going to go there. I think Nasty's going to be loaned out or whatever. If some
Yeah,
club,
Venezia versus.
there's some Serie A clubs that are interested. I think that. So then we have Jovic, Morata, and Okafor. Unless I'm missing someone else.
so
I
when
think
will Camarda play? Even if he's with the Futuro and he comes up for a couple of times, because
I
if we
think.
play a
Well,
four
I'm
two
just making a
three, if we play a
prediction.
4-2-3-1, then Abraham's most likely going to
Nah.
start those games. Then,
If Abraham comes, let him play.
right,
When did
exactly.
we play 4-2-3-1? We've been playing 4-3-3 all this time, bro.
Nah, bro, we've been playing a 4-2-3-1. We haven't been playing no 4-3-3. I promise you.
With Fonseca, yeah, 4-2-3-1, all
Yeah,
three
we've been
games.
playing a 4-2-3-1 each time, bro. I
Man,
promise.
you guys look at the match. They're while defending them line up in 4-4 or 4-4-2, and in attack or while building the attack as well, they are always in 4-3-3. Always.
But I think that Jovic. So I think Fonseca wants Abraham, and
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that Jovic at that point is probably going to. I mean,
I really doubt it. I really think Jovic is still going to stay.
so we,
I've read that if Abraham comes, Fonseca, Jovic goes out. That's what I read.
Yeah,
guys,
but goes
am I
where?
missing somebody? We have Morata, Jovic. I know Okafor is like a left wing strike. Am I missing?
Yeah,
Anybody?
come on, that is the third guy right now.
Okay, but no, I'm trying to think if I'm missing anyone else. Yeah, so
We had Colombo, remember, but he
right. Yeah. So I think Morata, Abraham, and Jovic. But then again, I don't know if Jovic is going to want to be the third striker. I think that's what they're looking to do.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey guys, I want to actually talk to you. I do want to go back to the game, but I want to talk to you about Roma. Because here, Benji Nasa says, how some. Well, he's. Okay, so let me paraphrase. Why are we getting a player that is basically a Roma reject? I think that's
because that's what
the.
Milan does. We buy reject players.
But what do you think of Roma getting Dobrik, who was the top goal scorer of La Liga? What do you think of that operation? Do you
I
think
think it's
Milan should
great,
have done that operation? Well, what
bro.
do you
We
guys think of
can't,
that
bro. We
operation?
don't even spend 35 million. In what world are we going to try and go for a striker in that price range?
And the other
sorry, Ron.
Go ahead.
What I've wanted us to spend a good amount of money on a young striker. I mean, he's like in his prime, like on a younger striker than Morata. Yes, but a Dovbik as a profile, I'm not like crazy about. I think he can be good, and I think it's a good signing. I just don't. I think Roma's kind of spending a little bit like they're a little bit risky because they're not in the Champions League. So for them, it could also be dangerous. But yes, on paper it looks good. But I'm not jealous of Dovbik personally.
I think
Is
he
Dobrik
fits
better
them.
than
He fits
Abraham?
them. Yes,
Well,
yes,
this
he is.
season, yeah,
You
Abraham
think
can
so?
play, but I think that Abraham isn't much worse from the best we've seen Abraham. He was
And
also younger than Dovbik was this season,
I
and I think
also say this: Dolberg, I don't know how you say his name. He's not very technical. He's a goal. He's an out and out goal scorer for sure.
Oh,
So
okay.
for
Like an
Roma,
Inzaghi type of thing.
uh, yeah, yeah. I guess in terms of technical ability, I guess you can put him there. But he's more of an out and out goal scorer. He fits
Mm.
Roma's profile, and if Pioli was here, he would fit Pioli's profile. But for Fonseca, with the way I've seen how the strikers are playing, I don't think he would be his type of profile striker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, he's a poacher. Yeah, he's right. Yeah, Nathan's right. He's a poacher, like striker. Doesn't fit the profile.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say like I don't see anything wrong with getting Abraham. Who it's for me like you guys like okay, we already got our first striker like as a safety being Morata. Now you're getting this guy as an opportunity where it's very expensive to buy players that aren't opportunities at his age with his profile. So I think they're doing what
The,
budget whatever, but like obviously we can't control what the budget is. So
the
I think
only issue with Abraham Antonio is that what I'm reading is very similar to the Fofana story. So basically, what we're saying is that Milan wants to convince Roma to get him on loan with an onerous option, and if the player achieves certain objectives, then Milan will get him. Roma's never going to say yes to that. There's
I
no
mean,
way
I'm sure,
Roma's going to say yes to
but
that.
Roy, the objective is going to be top four. Like this ain't going to be some objective that's like hard to come by.
I did see that Skira did tweet today saying like that it looks like he's the most likely choice. Like it is very realistic. I think that they can figure something out, like Nathan was saying, where the option to buy or the mandate to buy isn't like too crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely not what I read. That's for sure. It'll be something maybe not so favorable to Milan. Because if Milan can pull that off that way, then Furlani is the fucking genius of the world.
Yeah. But yeah, no, overall I don't see anything wrong with Abraham having his injury issues and coming in, getting a new setting to see if maybe we can get the most out of him. I'm in favor.
Yeah. Listen. So Benji says if Roma couldn't spend 30 million for Drawbrick, it's more. They spent more. They almost spent 40 million for
Yeah, it's
Drawbrick.
like 35 or something like that.
Yeah, plus bonuses, so it's close to 40. And Milan playing champions for 4 years can't go for a fit and young striker. It's crazy. It is crazy. You're absolutely right. It is absolutely crazy. And the fact that the season starts in now less than 3 weeks,
Yeah, 2
uh,
weeks
2 weeks and a half. Um,
without
yeah,
Morata. 2 weeks without Morata or
and
Levi
Morata's not going to
playing.
even be there. That's insane. No, honestly, look, the way Milan has operated in this market has been very strange. I've never seen anything like it.
You mean
I've
very
never seen
poor?
anything like it.
It's very poor.
They have this strategy of like agreeing to terms with the player. They're only linked with players that like really want to come to the club so that they can try to lowball the teams as much as possible. Like, and it's just like it's very frustrating.
Yeah, it's almost like it's almost like they're trying to do how we did with Tonali. Tonali was very forceful, so it worked out. But these guys aren't Maldini, so it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. Okay, so guys, let's go back to the game. What did you guys think about Camarda's little cameo?
Did more than Jovic did in his entire time.
Yeah, guys, listen. Every time I see Camarda, it looks like he grows an inch. Like he looks like an adult. Another thing, when I'm looking at the players, especially these young players, I'm looking at more what they do physically. And Camarda, guys, was pushing people off the ball. He was shielding the ball. I think he's good to go, honestly.
Yeah, you already know. I completely agree with that.
Yeah. Any other standout players, guys, that you want to talk about?
Toriani.
Yes, he
So
is
Oh yeah,
very
he had a big
confident.
save.
Roy, can you
He,
guys maybe enlighten me because I didn't really maybe I didn't notice him, but was he playing with the Primavera last year?
I
I think
didn't
he
even know
was.
this guy existed,
I
guys.
think he was
Up
like the
until now.
second or third goal backup keeper. I'm almost positive he wasn't the starter.
I really like especially his ability on the ball, and also he's made some really close range saves. To be fair,
Yeah.
in these games, but especially on the ball, like his passing is really solid. And he looks calm, and he's also taller than Donnarumma apparently.
Really?
Like I think he's.
Donnarumma's like, what is he, like 6'4", 6'6"?
Let me look up this guy's height because I just read that somewhere. They might have just been exaggerating, but let me see.
Any what about Chukwueze, guys? Any words on Chukwueze, the goal scorer?
You guys, I feel you guys slander that guy so much.
No, look,
Dude, he's so bad. Oh
he
my
took
god.
his goal well, but the chance he had in the first half cannot be overlooked. And he drifts in and out of the game, and he doesn't win many of his one-on-one battles with his opposing player.
Yeah. He scored the goal. He took it. Was it a lucky goal? It went under the guy's leg, foot, or whatever. But man, he was getting cooked left and right. Big difference. Again, Man City, against the kids of Man City, he was looking decent. Now you put him against a little bit more senior players, you start to see that. I don't know, man. I don't know about Chukwueze, guys. I don't know. AJ, what do you think of Chukwueze?
Well, for the first time, I was seeing him track back and actually help a little bit in the defense. Not that he could do much, but that was a change I noticed. Didn't see him do too much one-on-one. He was passing, moving. I mean, he drops behind more usual than the other winger. I mean, I see Salamakers more higher up in the pitch than Chukwueze. Yeah, I don't know what Fonseca has got cooking with him, but good finish. Not complaining there. He's got
He
2
scored.
assists in
He
the last
scored.
game. He scored. So I mean, all I care is he gets his confidence because he's got to make up for the right wing. Can't rely on Leao all the time.
Yeah, we got to see if he becomes that player. If he can become that player,
Hey
we'll
guys,
see. We'll see. Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. So he's actually 6'5", which is I think like the same height as Donnarumma.
Okay.
And I will have guys. I'm gonna leave right now because I have to get up early for work. But tomorrow's my last day for the week, so if you guys want to do another live this weekend, I'm down. But yeah, also the last thing I want to discuss before I get off is Pavlovich because that's a done deal. I know you talked about that yesterday.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I think like I don't know. There's not too many center backs that I saw this Mercato that I was. I mean, okay, yeah, there's Scalvini and there was Buongiorno. I don't dislike Pavlovich. I mean, I think that I see why he's a good profile. Again, the biggest concern with him is he's a little bit reckless sometimes, and he still is. I've looked at some like analysis of how he plays. I think that he can improve a bit on the ball, but he's not awful on the ball. Like some people have been trying to make it out like he doesn't know what to do, but I've seen him and he's okay. He's not fantastic, but overall, I think he's a left-footed center back that fits the characteristics. So I'm fine with the player. I know that you're not really like too enthusiastic about him,
Me? No, not really.
but I see why I like his mentality and I like the way he plays.
What about you, Nathan? What do you think?
I think he's completely not needed, and we once again lost a Primavera player whose potential and value are going to dwarf what this guy is going to be.
You're talking about
And
Simic?
yep, Simic. There's no reason why we dogged him the way we did. It makes no sense. Like these guys always talk about finances and the algorithm and all this other nonsense, and they continuously do the wrong things. And once again, they messed up again.
Yeah.
And if this guy comes in and instantly replaces Gavia, not because he earned it, but just because he was bought, we're going to go back into the same situation again with our defense conceding tons of goals.
Mm. Yeah. AJ, what do you think of Pavlovich?
Yeah, great signing. I was looking at his stats. He's in the top 90 percentile of winning, tackling 95%. So he's got some serious defense packed in his system. Tomori has been shit. So I really need a great defender. I think he fills those boots.
Okay. Um, yeah, the
You know,
way
Gabi has better stats than him.
he does.
Yeah. Over on a Defensive Dynamo podcast, we went over that already as well.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as my opinion, I've said it. You know, a lot of people are. I'm worried about his speed. My prediction is that Tomori and Pavlovich are going to be a liability together. You need Gabia in that defense because you need, or Chow, you need someone that has a little bit more technical abilities, especially if you want to be a team that dominates possession. Um, but he definitely is aggressive. He's strong. You know, he had a really good season last season. He had a great season last season in Austria. Really good stats. You know, am I enthusiastic about the signing? No, not at all. Absolutely not. I would. I would have rather we got Calafiori,
Yeah,
um,
definitely.
or kept Simic. You know, this is just it's a money ball operation to keep the balance sheet low. He definitely has good qualities as far as his aggressiveness, but Tomori and Pavlovich, both in defense, both of these players are prone to make technical mistakes. That could become a liability, maybe. That's just what I'm thinking right now. But we'll see.
And
I mean, he's
Pavlovich
in the kingdom.
has, by the way, Pavlovich has UEFA and Europe experience. He's been one of the better players. In fact, when it comes to defense, statistically speaking, from what I was reading earlier today.
Yeah, yeah. Last season he had a super season for sure in Austria, and then of course Serbia, etc. Yeah, so we'll see how he goes. I mean, is this assignment going to change the face of AC Milan? I doubt it. Rock thinks he's going to be super good. Maybe Rock is onto something. We'll find out. I guess we'll find out. You know,
Hey guys,
we'll
actually,
see.
I may be going to the Barca game with Rock.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't gonna go, and then I was like, it's like one of my only chances. So I'm gonna because I think he's gonna go. So we're gonna talk about that. So hopefully that works out. We'll take pictures. But one last thing before I go, I do not want to sell Chow. So I don't.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm a big Chow supporter, and I know, and people like. I know this is kind of controversial now, but
Well, but some people on Twitter are saying, "Wow, Chow for 40 million, genius operation, etc., etc."
if they give us more than 40 million and up, then it's like, okay, I wouldn't. It makes sense, I guess, because that is a fair amount of money. I just think like if you don't need to sell him, don't sell him. I think that his profile is really good, and I think you can get him back to how good he was the first season. I think he's regressed a little bit, but I think he can still get back up there. And like you were saying before, on the ball, he's way better than Tomori. And you have a player there that can be decent on the ball and has everything he needs to be solid. So I'm I'm a Chow fan. Of course, he's been weird recently though. But
It's a huge capital gain, 40 million, because they bought him for 6 million. So they'd be making a lot of money with Chow.
yeah, but Roy, what I'm worried about is if we sell him
If he
for
was
40 million,
Italian, they would have sold them by now.
if we sell him for 40 million, then all we're not going to be able to reinvest that in a way that like we're not going to spend that 40 million on another quality player. Like we're just going to spread it out across all the signings and like get Fofana and get all these guys. We're not actually
Yeah,
like
of course.
if we took that money and we bought like a player of like Xerxes for example that was 40 million.
That's the guy. Jesus. That was the guy. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, like I would be in favor of that, but if you're gonna be like just spreading thin, like, I'm not like what's the point, you know? I'm a little bit like skeptical.
Maybe his sale can get Samardzic across the line. You know,
Yeah,
Samardzic, Fofana, Samardzic, and Fofana. But yeah, that's what it looks like they're doing. They want to keep the the players in the 20 million range. Notice how every player we buy is in that 20 million range, and that's where they want to meet the teams. So
What's
if
our
you
actual
sell,
budget?
who knows? Who knows? I,
guys, I'm gonna head out, but it was nice talking to you. Have a good night.
all right, later.
See ya.
So I think if they sell Chow for 40 million, that means that they're going to buy two players, and both players are going to be 20 million. But yeah, I agree. Defensive Dynamo podcast. Pavlovic is a very good box defender, but he needs to be paired with Gabbia. I think that's a more balanced pairing. Same as Tomori. Tomori needs to be paired with Gabbia or Chow. You can't have two players that are not great with the and also Tomori and Pavlic are very similar. Their game is based on aggressiveness, on being very aggressive and being very
Tight on the
ruthless,
person.
tight on the person. Yeah, so you need to balance it out with a guy that can build from the back, Gabia or Chow. Yeah. Emanuele says Tomori and Chow need to go. Do you think Fonseca will keep Mattia Liberali on the first team? What do you guys think?
Hope so. Oh, that I was going to bring that up. So it looks like RLC is being pushed back towards the double pivot area again. If we keep the players the way they are, I don't see why Liberali cannot be the second up for the cam spot. Because he's better than RLC. He doesn't necessarily have to start, especially if they keep putting Pulisic there. I don't see why he can't sub Pulisic.
Mm. Yeah, listen, my instincts tell me that no, he's going to go to the future, and the starters are going to be Loftus Cheek, Reindeers,
But we don't have
whoever they
another
get.
CDM though. Like that's the thing. We're not buying a DM. So they're gonna have to put somebody back there. They can only put Loftus Cheek there, which means that that cam position is going to be vacant, which means they're going to have to either put Liberali or they're going to have to put Pulisic.
Yeah, if they keep Liberali in the first team, I'll be very surprised. Let me just say that. Let me just say that. I think he should be. I think he's good enough. I'll just be very surprised, because they're gonna have. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe he earns a spot right now. Maybe he's earning his spot. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
What do you think about Jimenez?
Yes, Rock, do that. He's now 21, so you're allowed to do that.
What did you think about Jimenez when he came on?
I thought he looked good today. I liked his energy. He had a beautiful Camarda run that he completely missed. Remember we spoke about it on the WhatsApp chat.
Yeah.
That Camarda run cut that he did. Yeah, the player on the ball was Jimenez going forward. He missed that. He missed that opportunity to feed Camarda in a good position. But I liked his energy. He's supposed to be the guy that replaces Theo Hernandez in the future. What did you think of this? What did you guys think?
Yeah, I thought
I
he did.
like his confidence on the ball. I love his confidence. He's really very mature for the age.
Yeah, he's very aggressive. He's very fast. He's definitely one of those talented Spanish players. Yeah, no, he was good. Let's see, what else do we have? 35 million for Chow. I would sell. Would you guys sell Chow for 40, 35, 40 million? Nathan, AJ?
Yep, any fucking day.
Okay.
Money.
Yeah, I would definitely. Well, actually, now that I think about it, there's really no point because we can't get Buongiorno. We're not going to get Scalvini because he's injured. Calafiori's gone, so I mean, Simic is gone, so there's really no point now.
Interesting.
You know, like maybe if we did like a deal to get Tonali back, but I mean that ain't happening.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be fantastic. I'd love to see that happen.
That's that's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Oh, what about Musa, guys? Opinions on Musa? I thought he had a okay game, right? I mean, I didn't see anything bad. I didn't see anything
I
incredible.
didn't see anything from him today. Must have had he hardly played, what, 10 minutes?
Yeah, he played his part. You know, he didn't do anything special, but he played his part. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
Pulisic was fucking awful today, but Pulisic is not fit, ready. He's not ready to play. You know, I mean, we know Pulisic can score goals. He was one of our best players last season. He was really bad today, but you know, doesn't really mean anything.
He was only good against low level teams.
Oh,
yeah.
really? Oh, damn, AJ coming in with the heat.
Bro, I'm just saying. That's right. Most of his goals came against mid-table teams, right?
Yeah, he's telling the truth. He ain't lying. He showed
Ooh.
up. He showed up against the teams that you should beat. Which, I mean, that's also a good thing for sure. But for the big teams, the title races come down to whether or not you can beat the other big teams.
Yeah, yeah. That's really the what makes a player a great player. What did Ronaldinho say? A great player is a player that does great things against great teams in great games.
Yeah,
Let's see. RLC as a CDM? Oh, hell no. Not convinced. Nico is not convinced. So Emanuele says AC Milan, now that Pioli, also known as the Butcher, left, is the best team in Serie A. Oh my God. Is AC Milan the best team in Serie A? Oh, actually, this is a good topic. I was looking at the rosters yesterday on SofaScore, and Napoli is looking good, man. Napoli is looking good, especially with Conte, and they're playing this 3-4-2-1, which is actually what I would like to see Milan do. I'm
yeah.
so
Me
fucking
too.
tired of this 4-2-3-1, dude.
Me too.
I'm so tired of the 4-2-3-1. I can't stand it anymore. But I saw Napoli; they're looking good, and that roster is looking good. And then I was looking at the Inter roster, and the Inter roster is just 5 steps ahead of everybody else. That's the unfortunate truth, guys. The unfortunate truth is that this season, most likely, it's going to be another Inter kind of type of season.
It's just
But
crazy. It's
yeah,
really
go ahead.
crazy. Like a lot of Inter's best players were free signings. Like it's not
Yeah,
like Inter's going out there and dropping 150 million in one summer.
yeah, you're right.
Like they have
No matter the
gangsters in
coach.
they have gangsters
Mm,
in management, and we have children.
yeah, well, no matter the coach, the next game against Inter will be judged on the management. Have to win. You cannot say, hey, we got a new coach. Fuck off.
I agree. I
Mm,
completely agree. Like these guys had the chance. The year we won the title was the year that you're supposed to go balls deep into the transfer market because teams and players know that you won the title. So everybody thinks you're back. So everybody wants to come join AC Milan because they're getting back to the top again. That is when you go deep in a market. These guys did the exact
but listen,
opposite.
but there is a method to the madness monetarily also. Um, Inter goes for the three players also because their salary cap is around 125 million. You know, so that's why they can afford to get these three players and give them, competitive wages.
We can afford that as well too.
No. We are
to.
no. Well, yeah, that's it. We don't want to. We are at
Right.
86 million. We're 30 million below Inter. So that's why we can't do what Inter does, because we have to keep it at below 90 million, while Inter is operating at 120, close to 130 million salary cap, and that's why they can get these deals done, and we can't. We have to get Pavlovic, who has a 1.5 million salary. We have to get these kind of players that have these low kind of salaries, and keep the salaries low. So that is the yay, we won the balance sheets Scudetto, right? That's the Milanisti that are celebrating we won the balance sheet Scudetto. That's because our salary cap is below 90 million, and Inter salary cap is close to 130 million. Guys, our defense is complete. We need to focus CDM, DM, right wing, another striker. These positions are vital. Then look at other areas. I agree, yeah, for sure. But the midfield is the biggest problem. When I'm looking at the difference in rosters in Serie A, our midfield is so shit. It is so shit, guys. It is. I'm sorry. It is so shit. But I'll just look at if you just take Napoli's or Lobotka, Anguissa, that is like 5 steps ahead of anything we have. It's so bad. We need to do something about the midfield. Lacumi from Bologna would be a good replacement for Chow. Okay, Musa was decent today, to be honest. Yeah, I think he was. He did his part. He did his part. I like the way Musa was dribbling into space and jumping his man. He made their lines lose balance well. Pulisic had a really bad game, but I think he's also really out of. He's really not match fit at all. Juve market is insane. They're going to be a problem if Motta is a good marriage. Now this here, I am starting to change my mind about it. I'm not so convinced about Juve, honestly. I am not so convinced that Juve is putting together a super good team. Let's put it that way. I'm not so convinced. I was looking at that roster. It's not anything crazy, honestly. Honestly, I think Juve is more or less our same level. But I might completely be wrong. I don't know what Motta is going to do. I'm just looking at that roster. It's not convincing me. When I look at the Inter roster, you see it right away. It's like, all right, well, there you go. When you look at that Juve roster, it's kind of, you see a lot of normal players. I don't know. What do you guys think of Juve? Do you think they're going to be a problem or not?
It depends on how well
If Mota is coaching the team, it's gonna be a problem for sure.
So it's going to be a coach thing, you say?
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how he does his 2-7-2. His 2-7-2 formation. I saw Kefren Turam in the U21 tournament, and he looked great. He was really good. He had a really bad debut with Juve. Really bad, completely lost. I think he'll need a lot of time to settle. He's probably. I'm going to make this guess. Turama might have a similar situation as CDK in his first year. He might find a little bit of trouble settling in. He's very young. He's not like his brother. His brother is more experienced. He's very young, so we'll see. We'll see. Dude, Taremi is crazy. You haven't yet realized how good this team is without the butcher. Time will tell. I'm going to make this bet with Emanuele over here that next summer you'll be calling for Fonseca the butcher, because they're identical.
Yeah,
They're
our
exactly
gameplay has really not improved. It looked the game against Manchester City was very deceiving because we were playing against literally against 16 and 17-year-old kids. So they're obviously going to be slow to the ball. So it looks like we're playing better. We didn't see any of that today
Yeah,
for
no. Today
obvious
it was
reasons.
back to normal today.
Yeah, this is the typical Milan,
But we, yeah,
gameplay that we saw today.
yeah, it was exactly the same as last season. Nothing
But
different. Literally nothing different. I mean,
but this
I don't
but
see it. I don't see it.
but this is a problem also with the formation. A 4-2-3-1, like I've said 1,000 times, is not a formation to dominate games. It is a defensive first formation. If you want to play better football, you need to go to a three-man defense or to a 4-3-3. You cannot play a 4-2-3-1 unless you have world-class players like Madrid or Manchester City. They're the
And
only
that's
ones
what
that
I'm
play
saying.
that.
Listen, that's exactly what I said, Nathan. I don't know if you were on. I don't think you were on, but that's exactly what I said. The only way for Fonseca to make this work is if he has world class players, because his system is super basic. It's nothing. He needs world class players, and then it'll look like he's cooking.
Yeah,
But
that's
we'll see. We'll
literally
see.
it.
We'll see. We will see. I think there's a lot of this. There's a lot of hatred towards Pioli. So there's a lot of people that think that Pioli is like the worst coach that has ever existed and blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, these coaches are not very different, right? It's like, I don't know. It's like when you compare players. You know, some players are not very different. It's the same. It's almost like, this Morata, Giroud. They're very similar, right? Similar age. They
Yeah.
have similar numbers. It's the same with Fonseca and Pioli. They're very similar. They just have a few things that are different. But it's not like from Pioli you're going to Conte, who is this super coach. No, you're going from another Pioli essentially. You're just going from Pioli to Pioli, who's slightly different. I think that because he's new, the team will react to him, but eventually it's going to be the same stuff. I mean, he wasn't a genius yesterday. He's not a genius today.
Yeah.
At least I think. I don't know. Maybe,
Like
maybe I'm wrong.
the only thing I'm gonna hold Fonseca to is playing or integrating the Primavera. I
Yeah,
don't, in terms of gameplay, I'm not gonna hold my breath at all. We know what to expect from Fonseca. So I'm not gonna hold my breath and be like, oh well, I thought he was gonna play better. No, I know how Fonseca plays. I'm
Forza
gonna
top four, bro. Forza top four.
yeah, Forza top five actually.
for some top
Uh,
four.
but I was told that he integrates the Primavera players, so I am expecting that to happen. And I don't mean 5 minutes every 8 games. I mean real minutes is what I'm expecting.
Yeah. Well, listen. Um, and AJ, jump in if you have anything to add. But at Lille, Fonseca was asked to play the youngsters. At Lille, he was asked to do that. In Ukraine, I don't know. I don't think he was asked to do that. In Ukraine, he was asked to win the tournament. So it really depends on what they ask him. Are they going to ask him to? Are they going to tell him, "Hey, your job this season is to bring value to the youngsters, or is your job to win the league?" If they
See,
tell
we
him
know
your
him.
job, if they
We
tell
know
him
him
your
to be a
job,
yes man.
yeah, he's going to do what they tell him to do because he likes that. That's the kind of coach he is. We saw it in his seminar when he was promoting the data analytics company that he's an ambassador for. So
Huh?
he works with the management. But my thing is this: if they ask him to win the league, then I don't think he's going to play much of the youngsters. I don't think so. But if they ask him, look, just finish top four, give value to the youngsters, then we're going to see a lot of youngsters. That's what I think.
Yeah, I don't think they told him that.
Who
I
told
don't
him
think they
what?
told him that to make sure you add value to the youth system. And the integration of youth players. I don't think they asked them that. I really don't think so, because
Well,
if
but
that was an actual
yeah.
importance, we wouldn't have sold Simic.
Mm, mm,
You see what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like we're getting these other players that we know are not as good as what we have, and we're letting those other players leave. So you can't tell me youth is that important, because Simic is going to be a top defender, and we've seen it.
Yeah,
So I don't believe it.
maybe his difference is that if he sees that, for example, Liberali can hang, he's going to play him. Maybe Pioli wouldn't have. But yeah, I don't know what they asked him. Actually, I do know what they asked him because Scaroni tells us every. The only guy I say this, I repeat this every live. The only guy in this club that has honesty, that says the truth, is Scaroni. They asked him. They asked him this. I'll tell you exactly what they asked him. Finish in the top four, pass the group stages of the Champions League. And if you can't pass the group stages of the Champions League, at least get to the quarterfinals of the Europa League. These are the minimum objectives.
See, he's got a 2-year contract. Even if he doesn't do it this year, next year, the management, all they care is top four, man.
Yeah. That's the main thing. They're not spending. They're not spending or buying or creating a club that can dominate the Serie A. They have a team right now that is capable of finishing the top four, and that's what they're going to maintain. And another thing, I want to repeat this again. The judgment on Fonseca is not going to be the style of football. It's going to be how many goals is he going to concede, and can he win big games. It's not going to be how many passes his team can do before scoring a goal. It's going to be can he go through an entire season conceding only 30 goals.
Exactly.
That's where his judgment is going to be.
And I just don't see it.
Yeah, well, let's see, man. We shall find out. We shall find out. Time will tell. Time will tell.
Yeah, I will tell, but he also has his own track record at other places that he's been to. And we know, with playing on a 4-2-3-1, if you don't have two very good double pivots, you're
Yeah,
gonna
that's it.
concede goals.
Boom.
So,
That's it.
this is such an unrealistic plan that is going on. It's just hilarious to me. It's
No,
hilarious.
you nailed it. You nailed it. That's the key right there. If you're gonna play a 4-2-3-1, your double pivots need to be fucking beasts.
We had Kessie and Tonali. And you remember,
Yep.
Roy, remember when we first got back to the Champions League and we were talking about on one of the lives whether we would change out our midfield for anybody else? And we all agreed that we had one of the best midfields
In Europe. Yes. 100%.
Not just in Serie A, in Europe.
And that's why I was very confident we were going to win the league that season, because we have the best midfield in Italy that season. So, yeah, the players are going to make the difference. The players are going to make the difference.
Right now, we only have Benacer, who is definitely not close to Kessie or Tonali. So you might as well just switch to only one holding midfielder or one defensive midfielder. Having two there is just a waste.
Or go three at the back. 3-4-2-1. You know?
Yeah.
Have Pavlovic, Tomori, and Gabbia in the middle. Pavlovic on the right. Sorry, Pavlovic on the left, Gabbia in the middle, who does the playmaking. Tomori on the right. And then the middle, Theo Hernandez, Reindeers, Afofana, hopefully, and Salamakers. And up top, you can have the creative players. They don't need to defend. If you have a line of three and a line of four that is solid,
or hardworking players,
the three guys up top can be super creative, and they don't need to go crazy and defend. In a 4-2-3-1, you need Leao, Pulisic, and Chukwueze to defend.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Or even in a 3-4-1-2, I mean, you can still have four hardworking players and then one super creative player like Pulisic or Liberali playing underneath the two strikers. Like that works too. But man, what we have right now, it's just not going to work, man. It doesn't matter how good your back four is. It doesn't matter if you have Maldini, Nesta, and Stam and Cafu back there. If your midfield cannot shield the ball, the defense, you're going to create. You're going to see cracks forming in defense. Doesn't matter how good you are. If the opposing team can reach your goal every single time they have possession, you're
Exactly.
going to concede. That's just how it
100%.
works.
100%. And now here, Chunk is saying that you don't necessarily require two mastiffs as the pivots. In our circumstance, you do. I think you could
No,
circumvent that.
that
Hold on,
is
let me just
simply
finish.
it's simply false. It's simply false
In
because
our
we've
circumstance, in our situation, we definitely need two mastiffs for sure. But
because
hold on, let me finish.
the
Go
rest
ahead.
of the team isn't world class. The rest of the team
Exactly.
is not world class.
That's it. That's the thing right there. You
And
nailed it.
Nico,
You
yep,
could
exactly,
circumvent.
Nico.
You could circumvent that by dominating the ball. Yeah, yeah. You know that's not going to happen with these players. Not, I mean, sure, against the small teams, but not against the bigger teams. And even if you dominate the ball against the bigger teams, they're still going to go through you because half of the game happens without the ball.
Exactly. And even remember Roy last year, the first game of the season, what was it, against Bologna? But
Yeah,
remember what we said? And of course, at
yeah,
the time, we didn't know how good Bologna was going to be. But the
true.
first like 2 or 3 games, we said, look how easy it is for these guys to reach our goal. The moment we
Exactly.
play a top team,
Yep.
we're gonna get killed. And the first top team we played was what, Inter? And then we got blitzed. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
No, no,
too
no.
easy to see. It's too
And
easy.
even if we won that, even the fact that we won that game, if you looked at that game objectively, you could tell exactly what was going to happen for the rest of the season. Milan was going to concede a ton loads of goals, and I'm seeing right now. I think the same thing is going to happen, but we'll see. We'll see.
Look at Emma's comment. There's no one in team in Syria who's world class in every position. That's the point. That is why you need two world class CDMs if you're going to play a 4-2-3-1. Otherwise, the rest of your team has to be world class to make up for your lack of ball winning ability. That's the whole point.
Yeah, but I don't know if I agree with that. I think Inter is close to being there with
Yeah,
Emma.
Inter
I mean, I
Inter
agree
had
with
a
what
hiccup
you're
in the Champions League. They had a hiccup in the Champions League, but they literally should have obliterated Atletico
right,
Madrid. Anyone who
and they
says
solved
otherwise
that
is
problem.
is just is lying to
They solved
themselves.
that problem, Nathan,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the problem was what's his name, the Austrian guy. What's his name? God damn it, Arnautovic. That guy
Oh
missed
yeah,
so many open shots,
yeah. Clear open chances.
but now they subbed him out. They got Taremi, and Taremi should solve that problem. I think Inter is a step ahead of maybe they're not world class. Maybe you don't want to use that term world class, but they're a step ahead of everybody else. I think it is
Yeah. And Trunk
for
said
sure.
he's disputing the shallow claim that you need players like Kessie and Tonali to play 4-2-3-1, as if the style of play doesn't matter. Again, if you are playing in a 4-2-3-1 and you do not have players like at Madrid or City, this is a defensive first formation. It doesn't matter what you think your style of play is going to be. You need quality offensive players if you want to dominate with that formation. We do not have that type of quality. So therefore, you need quality ball winning midfielders. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Like this is not rocket science. Look at the goals we conceded this year, and look at the goals we conceded when we had Tonali and Kessie as a double pivot.
Yeah.
Literally
Completely
half
different.
the goals conceded.
Yeah. The defensive aspect is way too. You can't. I think there's too much of this excitement of what the team looks like with the ball, and people just forget that
Yeah,
a team needs to also operate off the ball. And what does a team do off the ball? And this thing that they're trying to sell, this is where Redbird really shows its cards on how amateur they are. But they're trying to sell that they're going to play this Barcelona type of football with these kind of players. Nah, you ain't fooling nobody, man.
right.
Nobody.
And then look what happens when you don't have a Kessie and Tonali. Look at how exposed Leal is. Look at what happens when Teo tries to go up the field, and then we get burned on a counterattack because we don't have a Kessie or Tonali to win the ball back. That is what having top CDMs does for your team if you're lacking in other areas. Like this is basic 101 right here, man. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah. Look, the team is good enough to stay in that top five area. Um, that's where we are. That's where we are. But I don't know, guys. Hey, maybe we become maybe guys. The season starts and we are one of those legendary teams like Saki's Milan, Guardiola's Barcelona, Cruyff's Ajax. I mean, and that's what they want to sell us. Maybe they're right. Maybe they're true. Maybe they're true and we're completely wrong. Who knows? We'll see. We will see.
A 4-2-3-1 requires real ball winners.
Yeah, for sure. Because that double pivot is there is so much space. That's the thing about a double pivot that you leave so much space, and when your players on the wings are Chukwueze, who has a decent work rate, but he's not anything special there, and then Leao, who has zero work rate, Pulisic, who is kind of similar to Chukwueze, but ineffective essentially. You can't just have. That's why they ran through us all year. Yeah, sure, we can hold the ball for 15 minutes, but as soon as we lose it, they just
Right.
go to our goal. They just go to
Like
our goal.
right, Chunk, no one is saying, that we're not doing anything when the ball's at our feet. It's when we don't have the ball. You need two good CDMs to play this position, to play this formation. If you have mediocre players who cannot do both good on and off the ball, you're getting destroyed.
Yeah, that's why they should. That's why. And listen, I'm gonna sound arrogant right now. Whatever, I don't give a fuck. Fonseca's gonna fuck this up. He's going to go to a three-man defense in 2 or 3 months. I wish he would just do it right away. Just do it right away, Fonseca. Just fucking do it right away. Because he's going to do this 4-2-3-1, and he's going to sell this idea that Milan is going to be the greatest football team that has ever existed. Loftus Cheek, reindeers. No, these are the new Sadi, the new Pirlo, the new Busquets. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. We know who the best players in the world are, and it's not none of these guys. So just fucking be serious. Do a 3-4-2-1. Cover up that defense. Cover up the midfield, and then just have Leao and Morata and whoever else cook up top. And that's it.
Exactly.
Because that's what's going to happen in 2 or 3 months. Just like what happened with Roma, he's going to realize that this idea of having his fullbacks all the way up the pitch and a no cover whatsoever is going to make him concede a tons of, and he's going to go to a three in the back. I'm so sure the exact same thing is going to happen. Verbatim. The way it happened with Roma, he started off with a 4-2-3-1. After 3-4 months, he said, "Fuck this! I'm getting eaten alive. Let's go to a 3-4-2-1." All right. You guys do some talking. I gotta take care of this dog here.
What do you think about all of this?
Bro,
Uh,
play whatever formation you want.
say that
Yeah,
one more
it's
time.
not gonna. It's not gonna help you win against Inter because we've seen this time and time again. You push your fullbacks up, they hit you on the counter, and then boom, you lose the goal. Then you lose the second one, and then the third one.
Yeah, you're right. Because I mean, if we only have Benacer, and if you notice, Benacer is running everywhere. He's compensating for two people, himself and the whoever's playing next to him, who are not doing a good job. So one good counter, and it's going to be lights out. If we play with salad makers, it will help more because he runs harder and he has a good work rate in defense. But if it's if our team is going to be, Benacer, uh, Loftus Cheek, Leao on the left, Pulisic in the middle, Chukwueze on the right, and Morata up top, who's going to defend? Like, it's going to be a disaster.
At least we have two strong centre backs, but that's not going to help. We've seen a lot of the strongest centre backs
Hold
last
on,
season.
you're really far, like almost as if your microphone disconnected.
One second.
Listen, I don't think it's going to be Look, he's going to win games. I'm sure he's going to win games, and he's going to win some games really nicely. But I don't see this being that kind of season where all of a sudden we are this super team that some people want to think. I don't think that's going to happen. Nope. And again, Fonseca was not Guardiola yesterday, and he's not Guardiola today. You know, so he's the perfect coach for this management that is absolutely happy with the minimal objectives because this management does not care about what happens on the field. This management, as they have said recently, the most important thing is the business model.
Yep.
Go
The
ahead, AJ. Sorry.
finances in every single one of their interviews, winning trophies, catching
You
Real
never
Madrid,
never hear that.
catching Juventus with Scudettis, like they're not mentioned. They're never mentioned. Sustainability is mentioned 100,000 times in each of their interviews.
Yeah, Orlando Souza, I'm not here to sell. I don't do that. I don't pretend that Morata is Messi. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So I'm not being negative. I'm being honest and I'm being objective. I'm not going to do, guys, we're going to win everything. Let's go, let's go. And then by the end of the season, you know, Inter wins the second star in our house. I'm not going to do that. It's not how I operate. Listen, the season Milan won the Scudetto, I was super positive that summer because I thought I was convinced. I wasn't super convinced, but I was like, yeah, we can win the Scudetto this year. I was positive. Now I don't see that. I don't see it. I'm not going to be happy with top four and Moneyball. So
Uh,
you can call it negativity all you want, and that's fine. Go to other places, and if you want to hear more positive stuff, that's fine. No, but you're a good guy. I have total respect for you. You never insulted me. You're a good guy. But I am not going to be positive just for the sake of being positive. I'm going to be objective. And right now, my objectivity might sound negative to you,
right.
but
That's the thing. You got to take off the Milan blinders. Take off the Milan sunglasses and look at it as a whole. There's nothing positive about any of this. Like these guys literally came and said Milan is an American team.
Yeah, and
Like,
we're gonna focus on, and we're gonna
like
focus on the American market.
Orlando, if I came to your house and I started making rules, you would not accept that. So why should we accept what's happening?
Yeah,
Give us
exactly.
something to be positive about. No, actually, I'm gonna
Thank
take
you.
that back. I'm gonna
Thank you.
take that back. We are seeing some positives. We are getting to see Liberali play. Hopefully, we get to see more of Jimenez. Hopefully, we get to see Camarda and Zaroli. Those are positives. But that's not because of the ownership. That's because the coach came in with the stigma that he plays young players. So now we're going to hold him to it. That's a positive. But outside of that, bro, this ain't positive.
Yeah,
These
dude,
guys
like
have been super negative since they've came.
I mean, hey, I would love to see Milan completely dominate. But for example, if I am Real Madrid right now, I'm going into next season, I'm pretty fucking positive, right? Because objectively, if you're a Real Madrid fan, you have no reason to be, let's say, negative. Let's use that term.
Right.
But if you're Milan and now you want to pretend that Pavlovic is the same as Maldini and Fofana is the same as Gattuso
And
and Morata is the
Royals.
same as Messi, Emerson
Yeah.
Royale is the same as Cafu. I don't know, man. For me, this is like mediocrity. Milan is not supposed to be a mediocre team. Milan is supposed to be a team that strives to be the best. The fact that our salary cap is still 90 million, there's nothing to be positive about there. Now, I mean, again,
And
for
look,
me, it's hard to do the fairy tale thing. I just can't do the fairy tale thing. I can't
and
do it.
look,
It's not in me.
and look, it's positive that that we're no longer in debt. That in the long run is a nice thing. But they didn't cause that. Maldini and Elliott caused us to no longer be in debt, not these guys.
Yeah, if these
These
guys
guys
would
are
have,
these guys are not the reason why we are not in debt.
these guys inherited a situation that was good, and now they're exploiting it. Let me tell you
Right.
something. If these guys would have taken the club after the Chinese owner, right now we'd probably be in Serie B with how these
Right.
guys operate.
So with no debt, that means just because you have no debt doesn't mean that's a totally good thing. Like it's actually good to actually have some debt. And we're not saying that you need to go out and spend 300 million, but bro, we have zero debt. You can go put 100 million and you can recover that money easily. But they're not even doing that.
I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, look,
Like
we don't have
like
any debt.
we can't
Our
even do
finances
40
are good.
million, bro. We can't do 40 million on players.
We've been
Meanwhile,
chasing, yeah,
Roma can spend 35 million plus bonuses, and they're not even in the Champions League. But you want to sit here and
exa-
tell me that we're not being positive when we've been playing in the Champions League for 3 or 4 years now, bro? Come on,
yeah,
bro.
yeah. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, look at Roma. They're investing in what these potential superstar players that can be
Atalanta too.
superstars. Atalanta
Atalanta
too.
too.
We are this rich club that flaunts around the Europe saying we have the best balance sheet, our brand is the best, our bank accounts are the best, but yet we get Morata because he was 13 million and we couldn't land Xerxes. We've been chasing Xerxes since January, and now that we see how Fonseca plays, and based on what Rock said that he saw Fonseca give instructions to Colombo when he was there, yeah, Xerxes would have been the perfect player for this team. Like I said in the beginning of the market, if Milan gets Xerxes, then we're going in the right direction. That was my opinion. But instead, we went in fucking opposite direction. We're like, fuck that. Let's get Morata because thank God Morata wants to leave Atletico Madrid. He only wants to come to Italy, and in Italy he only can go to Milan. He doesn't want to go to Roma. He doesn't want to go to Inter. He wants to go to Juve, but Juve doesn't want him, so he came to Milan. I mean, I don't know, man. For me, this is really low standards when it comes to AC Milan. We should be combating this as fans. We should be demanding the top, because this is what this club deserves. This club deserves to be the best. We deserve to be better than Real Madrid. Instead, we're like living in this top 4, top 5 limbo, acting as if this market is any good.
And look, we
I don't know,
want
man.
Fonseca to do good, but even right now, these owners are cutting Fonseca off at the knees. We don't have half our team here. He doesn't even get to train Morata until the season starts. Like even Fonseca is not even getting his whole team to be ready, because the team should be in Italy getting ready right now, not doing some bogus money grabbing tournament in the United States. So Fonseca is being hurt by this as well too. Like,
Yeah,
this whole thing is stupid.
they're not helping Fonseca do anything
They're not.
special.
They're not even helping. They're not helping
You are going to
Fonseca at
see me.
all.
You're going to see me positive once it is 100% clear that this team becomes a top level ambitious team. Even under Elliott, where financially we did not have maybe the financial ambitions, but at least with Maldini and Massara, we had the human ambition. We had people pushing for Milan to be the top. That's why we won a Scudetto, and that's why we went so far in the Champions League, because there were people behind the scenes pushing, and they were fighting against the ownership, which was stingy as hell. Now nobody is pushing. Everybody is with the ownership now. Everybody is with, yes, forget celebrating Milan's legacy, Milan's history. Now we celebrate our balance sheets. So again, it's not being negative for the sake of being negative. I'll tell you this, and then I want to be quiet for a little bit. I was on Twitter these few days, and I was pretending to be a super pro Redbird guy. You know, I was trolling people. I was pretending to be super pro Redbird, super pro whatever. It felt good, honestly. It felt good to be like super positive about Milan. I want to be positive about Milan, but we're not. But we're not Sassuolo. We're not Atalanta. We are Milan. We are the best. We are the elites. We are the ones that we are supposed to be up there with Real Madrid. Nobody in this club has that ambition. Nobody in this club has that. If you have that ambition, you get fired in this club. So
Exactly.
it's really difficult to be positive.
Roy, look at today. Look at today. Actually, let's look at these the 3 games that we've had for preseason so far. Look at our strikers. Colombo, Nasty. They've been the ones who've been starting, right? Am I correct in saying that? The ones
Yeah.
who've been playing?
Right.
And they are being sold. So we are playing in a tournament that is supposed to get our players ready. And one of the most important positions is striker. And we are playing people who are not even going to be part of this team in the upcoming season. And you sit here and tell me I should be positive about the fact that Fonseca has had 0 time with Leao and Morata.
Yeah, the timings of the market are just don't make any sense.
Like, literally, this tournament was just for money. It was literally just for money. So no, I'm not gonna sit here and sing kumbaya with people who want to be super positive when Fonseca he doesn't even know what Morata's face looks like. Like, come
Yeah,
on, man.
I will be. Look, Maldini made me feel positive because he had the brain, he had the work, he had the ideas. I will be positive again once we tangibly we can see and can touch that this team has the ambition to be what this team ought to be, what the history of this team tells they should be. When that happens, you will see. I'll be positive. I'm sure Nathan will. Everybody that is complaining right now will be positive.
Yeah. And this is only when it comes to the senior team too, guys, by the way. If you're ever listening and whenever we're watching, like, maybe not the senior team for Italy because Spalletti is a moron, but the youth teams, the Primavera for Milan, super
Yeah, that's
positive
good.
about what's happening.
Yeah,
Super positive about the development of the players. We like the
You know?
futuro. We like how the players are coming through.
Yeah.
Super positive about that.
No. That's for sure. I really love the Futuro project. I'm all on board on that, and I think that can, if they play their cards correct. For example, if they allow Liberali and Camarda and whoever is ready to make those steps to become the players that they can be, maybe that we can get some good stuff from that. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, as far as that thing goes, yeah, I'm definitely not complaining. Simic, I am complaining 100%. But as far as the futuro and this idea of developing the youngsters, keeping them inside the Milan walls, I'm all about that. I like that. As a matter of fact, I'll be following that team a lot this year, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of good. Like we we don't talk about it much. Like you mentioned it right now, we don't talk about much the Primavera, but in our WhatsApp chat, every time the Primavera was playing in the Champions League, we were following. They're winning games. We liked what we saw there because they're doing good and they have. And it looks like an ambitious project. But the first team, guys, come on. We are Milan fans here. Our standards need to be the best. Our standards need to be the top. We can't be happy with this because if we are happy with this, then this is what's going to become normal. We can't
Exactly.
be happy with this.
If you accept mediocrity, then you're never, ever going to get back up to the top again. And
Yeah,
that's with all things in life. If you accept being mediocre in life, then you're going to get mediocre results. You shouldn't be happy with being mediocre.
yeah, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, guys. I mean, I think based on the roster we have, I'll be happy for us to finish in the top four. So at least that. If we can win the Scudetto, I don't know. Honestly, I just don't see how we can. I just Inter seems just too strong right now. Um, I think you. I don't. I'm not so sure about Juve actually. I think we might. We might. I don't know about Juve. I'll tell you. I'll give you that. I'm not so sure about Juve. I think Napoli's going to be looking good with maybe Atalanta. We've got to watch out for Atalanta. But at the end of the day, whether you finish second, third, or fourth, it doesn't matter.
Uh,
Uh,
do you know Juve's schedule?
no, no.
Because that can make a big difference too. Like if Mata doesn't have a tough game for like 5 or 6 games, that could be
Yeah,
enough time to, get the
yeah, no
team
problem.
going. So it really depends on who he plays in the beginning.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll see. We'll definitely see what happens. We'll see what happens. We should sign Van Dyke and Holland. Yeah, we should have signed Van Dyke and Holland. Yes, we should have. There was a point when these two players cost 20 million, just like the players that Moncada and guys like to pay. But I don't know. We were sleeping. If
Exactly.
people are okay with,
Dan 99 said it perfectly. If you're okay with mediocrity, then you should stop following Milan. Exactly.
we had,
Exactly.
yes, Inter is 2 steps ahead of it. It's on them. They can fuck it up, and we have to be good to take advantage of that. But we'll see. I mean, crazy things happen in football. Crazy things happen in football, and
Hey Hassan, what's up?
but I think
You're
if
right.
you understand football, you kind of see already what's. You already have an idea of how things go. I try to take away the Milan glasses as much as possible. I really do that because I think once you look at things through the AC Milan lenses, your opinions are always going to be skewed. They're always going to be. You're going to underestimate your opponents, That's the first thing you do. And then you're going to overestimate yourself. So it's very important to be a fan, but also not to be a fan when you analyze, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think when you do that, it's hard to put Milan higher than maybe where they are. Asen, join us, man. Join us. Tell us what you thought about Fonseca. So Ace is very happy. I mean, Ace. I don't know. I'm not saying Ace is happy with Fonseca, but he's optimistic with Fonseca. Join us if you can, Ace. I'm curious to hear what you got to say.
And look, like again, like how we brought up last year, like the first three games, we kept pointing out, we're going to be conceding goals left and right because our midfield can't stop even the smallest of teams of coming in and crashing in on Mike. But we heard, I'm not gonna say any names or anything, but there were other people who were celebrating as if we were gonna win the Scudetto. Easy. We were gonna
Yeah,
win. The first three games,
yeah.
cheering, cheerleaders. Oh, we got this. Look how dominant we are. Meanwhile, we're giving up more shots than we're even putting in. Like you have to take off the blindfold, the Milan
Yes.
blindfold, and look
Yeah.
at the whole picture of what's actually happening.
Yeah. I think when it comes to like, okay, you win a big game, yeah, celebrate. Celebrate, your team is winning. But when you analyze football, you have to take the blindfolds off. You have to take the lenses off. Because otherwise, you're going to just set yourself up for disappointment. Um, so, Roy, which Italian team do you have going the furthest in UCL this upcoming season? So we have five teams, right? So we have
Yeah.
Juve, Milan, Inter, Atalanta, and who's the other one? Who am I missing?
Um, because Roma,
Oh,
Roma,
Bologna.
bar
Bologna.
Bologna, yeah, because Roma missed out, barely missed
Yeah,
out.
yeah. I don't know. Listen, the easy guess is Inter because they have a solid roster. But I think it's going to depend a lot on this new format. I don't know what the new format is going to look like exactly as far as who you're going to play against.
Right.
If a Champions League was still the previous format, then it'd probably be easier to guess. But just looking at the rosters, I think it's easy to say Inter. I hope. And
Well,
again, now
Atalanta should do good too.
Atalanta also should do good because Atalanta lives in this really weird pocket where they don't feel pressure
Well, they
because
don't have pressure.
they have a fan base that doesn't give them the pressure. It's a club that has the ability to go play Real Madrid, which they're going to play them actually really soon, without no pressure, right?
Oh
If
yeah,
we
the
play,
Super Cup, right?
yeah, that's the
Oh,
thing
that's
about
gonna be
Atalanta, which is
good.
very interesting. They live in this pocket where they can play against the best teams, and whether they win or lose, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The fans are not going to go, hey, Gasperini out, this guy out. So it's not like Milan. Milan, there's a lot of pressure. Inter, there's a lot of pressure. Juventus, there's a lot of pressure. Atalanta and Bologna, there's no pressure at all. But Atalanta is a good fucking team. Atalanta can go far. Um,
Yeah, that's gonna be good. I forgot about that, Roy. That game is going to be good.
yeah, that should be a good game. Yeah,
And they got Zaniolo too. Atalanta made moves, man.
yeah. Atalanta might do good. And let me just say one last thing. And again, I'm going to take away my blindfolds, and I'm going to say this: San Siro is a big factor. So in the Champions League, San Siro has always been a big factor for Milan, and that could be the card. That could be the card for Milan, the San Siro factor. I hope Milan does well in the Champions League. I want Milan to be back top level team in the Champions League. Ace, what's up, brother? How you doing, my man?
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Good.
Good in yourself.
Hey, not too bad, watch the game. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. What do you all
Give
thought
us
about the
your
game?
analysis in
Well,
depth.
I think obviously, it's always good. I mean, you can't look too much into the results in some degree, but it's always still good to get a win against a top team, even if they only had two of their starting players playing. Um, but uh, I think we're missing a couple key players and what they could potentially provide in the system that Fonseca is trying to play. But for what we have available, I think I like the style of play. I like to see the passing sequence that and the brave passing that they're trying to execute. So I'm 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 not gonna say I'm satisfied because it's just friendlies and we still have to play in competitions and see how it pans out. But I definitely say I like what I'm seeing 100%.
Mm. Yeah. How do you think? Now I know right now it's super premature.
Yeah.
How do you see the season going? And listen, all the people that then kind of like come back to you, huh? You said this, you said that. That's fucked up. Right now, we're just guessing. It's a get. We're all guessing
Yeah.
based on educate knowledge or whatever. But it's guessing at the end.
I
So whatever you say, there's no right or wrong answer. We'll have a better understanding of what the teams look like at the end of August. But how do you see the team doing according to what you've seen so far?
I think it looks promising. Seeing the way that he wants the team to play, and I don't know if it was apparent to everyone, but basically he wants mini games all over the field. He wants little games of in bands of threes and fours, making little triangles or diamonds. Um, all over the field where one and two touch passing, which I think is a style of play that will definitely enhance players like Theo and Leao, um, that dynamic type of player. So, um, and we didn't have those guys available tonight, and we still look pretty convincing and convincing in the sense of the flow of the game. Real had control of the game at some point, but we also um, stamped our presence in the game, controlling the ball and being brave in the areas, especially in the defensive third, our defensive third, trying to pass the ball out the back and create those spaces. Um, but clearly, we're still missing quality and key players. Hopefully, and something that I want to get your opinion on what you all think about Pulisic playing as a 10. I would say that Liberali looked beautiful um, over his last couple of games for Milan. I hope that he gets the nod to play to be in that 25 squad. I don't know. What do you all think about that?
Well, I think it's going to be similar situation as last season. Yeah, Pulisic can play the number 10, but the team has to be balanced because at the end of the day, last season scoring goals was not a problem. The problem was the balance. The problem was
when we don't have the ball.
conceding goals. So um, it depends. It depends on who the double pivots are,
What
who
do
is
you
on the
What did you
right
all
wing.
think? What do you all think about Tamori and Tiao in the first half? What do you think about the back line in the first half?
Diabolic. They are shambolic playing together. They are shambolic.
In what way?
IQ, decision making, bro, they are horrible when it comes to defending. Tamori and Chow should not play together. There's reasons why Tamori and Kiaya work. There's reasons why Tamori and Gabia work. There's reasons why Gabi and Kiaya work. Because one of those defenders has to have a defensive IQ. And unfortunately, both of those guys rely more on the physical side and not the technical side of the game. The technical and the tactical side of the game.
I don't know
So
if I
no, no.
I don't know if I fully agree with. So you're saying that you don't think that Tamori or Tiao have a technical understanding of football,
That is not their strong point. Their strong point is the physical side of the game.
and so what would you say the strong point is of this new guy that we signed?
Same.
Also, it's the same. It's the
Yeah.
physical side of the game.
So clearly, it looks like our what Fonseca wants. He doesn't really want um, defenders that are too technical, but more bring that and that is something I actually want to say. I appreciate the fact that we are playing a little bit more aggressive, physically being a little bit more.
But we've always played like that, and that's
I
why
don't
we
think so.
conceded so many
I
goals.
don't think so. I don't think.
Do
No.
you know how many goals we conceded
No, no,
compared
no, no.
when
I
we
don't
had
agree with that.
Chow?
I think like in this game, Calabria was the most aggressive I ever seen him in my entire life watching in Milan. Most times Calabria will
Yeah, because we
usher a
don't
guy
take
down the line.
because we
In
don't
this
take
game
him.
today, he was putting his hands on guys, pushing them, winning the
But
ball
I don't know.
easily.
I mean, we've seen Calabria have big performances. You know, it's a little bit weird to say that today's game is a game that we can say a player is. It's just a friendly that doesn't mean anything. You know.
I know, I'm
I
just
mean,
being
Calabria
positive
did a
about
great
it.
job against Mbappe. Remember how he did? How he did in the Champions League against PSG. He did a great job against. We saw him do great against Vicha Barasquilla.
Yeah, but I don't think what I'm alluding to, I guess, is that I think it's embedded, baked into Fonseca's philosophy defensively. I think he wants his defenders to be more physically aggressive,
But we've always been
which
like
is
that,
something I don't think purely asks Milan for
No, I think
bro.
defensively.
he
Bro,
did.
what,
Purely did us. But
bro? You mean our defenders push so high up on the attackers all the time? That's why we concede so many goals.
But how
no,
come?
The,
Purely did. Purely did ask for that. It's just that the player. And I remember he talked about it a lot actually, especially in the second half of the season. He was saying he needs the players to be more aggressive. He needs the players to do this. It's just that the players weren't doing that. So let's see. Maybe they'll do it with Fonseca when there is to get dirty. We'll find out. We'll find out.
and
I know, and
we
maybe it
don't
might
have
just
the.
be maybe it might just be the Newcastle smell. Um,
I think. Well, listen, I think there's a lot of that going on. I honestly do. I honestly do. I honestly do. But let's see because let's see. I mean,
But look, you can't be aggressive if you don't have the midfielders to help you.
no, I
You're just
agree.
gonna get
I
passed
agree with
around.
you
yeah,
there. We definitely are missing. We need
yeah.
midfielder.
We need the Fofana signing to come through. I mean, I don't
Which
know much of Fofana. I saw his highlights. He looks good in his highlights. He looks like a player that does have that kissy physicality to him, and he can also play. I don't know how good he is, but
I
that's a guy
keep
we're linked
hearing
to.
I keep
I hope
hearing that
we
he's a
get him.
box to box player. He's not like a
I
good
mean, I
defensive
would have
minded
to say
player.
that I'm not happy about the players that we're currently being linked with and the ones that are coming in outside. I mean, this defender, I don't know him enough to have a judgment on him, but the Abraham and the Emerson Royal, like I don't know, like that is I'm stumped. Like I don't understand why we.
And they're putting that on the coach, by the way, right now. Yeah. Have you seen the reports? They're saying
Yeah,
that it's
yeah,
Fonseca that wants Emerson Real and Abraham,
yeah, yeah.
Which
Well,
which I don't think is true. I don't think
that's
that is true.
definitely
I,
not true.
I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, I would definitely say Morata is not enough, and we definitely need another striker based on what I've seen so far. Because Nesty has talent, but I don't think
He's leaving.
yeah, he's also leaving. But what I'm saying is that outside of Nesty, who else do we have? Okafor just came back, and we
Jovic.
don't really know what his best position is at yet. Um,
Jovic.
Jovic, but aren't they saying that Jovic is going to be part of that Abraham deal or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I don't see why they would even do something like that.
I mean, to
I got
get if you want to get Abraham over the line, then you're going to do something like that. But
no. I don't think Roma is going to go for something like that. Like I don't think
no, they
Roma
will, they
value
will,
that.
they will because didn't it, Roy? Didn't they just sign that guy from
Dobrik.
They just signed that guy Dobrik. So they're gonna probably want to get rid of somebody.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm trying to say they don't want Jovic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Like you
I don't
can't
think
just
they. I
throw.
don't know if they
You can,
need Jovic. Right?
yeah, like you just can't force somebody to do a deal that they don't want.
then put Jovic in that. What's the guy from Udinese? Put him.
Samardzic.
Yeah, just
I mean,
what do y'all think? Do y'all want to
they
see you? Do y'all want to see Jovic in the squad this season?
it's the thing is, does Udinese need a striker? Like if they need a striker, they'll think about it probably. Or does Roma need Jovic? I don't know. I don't know. As far as the last question you asked, I no, not really. I do prefer Abraham to Jovic.
Okay. So you so do you think having Abraham in the squad would do you think Abraham Morata
I think
Okafor?
that's a. I think Abraham Morata is a pretty good duo. Honestly, I think that's a pretty. It's definitely a top four. Top four. If we were playing in a weaker league, it can even be a winning duo. But we're not playing in a weaker league. We're playing against teams that also have good strikers and good attackers. I think it's good for top four for sure.
I don't know how real this is, but I saw something on Twitter that said that when Pato was at Chelsea, um like Pato had just scored in a game, and at the end of the game, one of the Chelsea ball boys came to him and said like he wants to go to Milan one day and win a title like he did, and that ball boy was Tammy Abraham. So I don't know if that's
Yeah,
real,
I
then
believe that.
that'd be pretty epic.
He seems to be flirting with Milan. It's not. It's been even in the past. It's possible. Yeah.
I mean, he could be dynamic, but I just feel like he never stays fit.
Oh yeah. Actually, he just got injured. What? A few weeks ago, he got injured again.
So we want to buy an injured player.
Yeah, he's definitely injured, for sure.
Bro, what are we doing, bro?
I mean, I mean,
What are
I
we
mean,
doing?
I mean, when you say that, bro, I sound like I hear echoes of myself from last season when we bought Loftus Cheek and Pulisic. So, I mean, maybe there's an outside chance. Something cooking
Right.
at Milan
Listen,
Labs.
guys, Abraham had a great season his first season in Serie A. His first season in Serie A, it was a really good season. If he didn't get injured, who knows? He would have. I don't think Abraham is a bad player. I don't think he's a bad. I think Morata Abraham is a decent attack for me. For me, it's not bad. It's not. It's not the ideal. It's not what I would want to try and win the Champions League or the Scudetto, but it's not bad either
It's a
for me.
it's almost like it's a lateral move. You know, it's like, yeah, you got a direct replacement for Juru, and now you
But
need
but
like a.
Abraham is an extra addition, though, don't you think? Don't you
Yeah,
agree or no?
I agree. I think he could bring some more, because if you look at the way Fonseca plays, right? Like, I mean, which is I was a little bit sad that Colombo left. Honestly, I kind of was hoping that Colombo would have. maybe gotten a little look in at making Milan squad this season because I think there's a player there, and I think that's
Me
what
too. Yeah.
we need. And so clearly he wants a striker as an outlet
Yeah.
in his system.
Yeah.
Um, and Abraham and Morata are that they both give outlets um, and connect the triangle in the middle of the field or in the middle third or the attacking third. Sorry.
Yeah,
Um,
and it makes sense why they initially wanted Xerxes because it makes sense with how this system is. Yeah. But anyway, say, listen, we got the game coming up, Barcelona, and
What
then
day
I
is
think
that?
we have Monza coming up.
What day is the Barcelona game?
I think it's the weekend.
this weekend.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. And then
Yes.
hold on, doesn't the league start like on the 15th or something?
17th.
Holy nuts! That's like literally in 2 weeks.
Yeah, in two
Yeah.
weeks, and Fonseca hasn't
But
even gotten to
oh,
train Morata.
just on that note, we only have like I think we only have like maybe three tough games in the first 10. So he has a pretty
Yeah.
decent start. So
He's got three doable. Then Lazio, then another easy game, then Inter.
I know Inter's in that. I think and Inter's like our fifth game of the season or something.
Yeah. Just like last season. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, we got Clint.
I think Inter is gonna be a good measuring stick for us because
Absolutely. Yeah.
by the Inter game, Milan and Fonseca would have had at least 10 games under their belt,
Wait, I thought
inclusive.
we played them in the fifth game.
Yeah, fifth
Me-
game.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm talking about like friendlies included,
Oh,
like
okay,
in
gotcha,
terms of
gotcha.
like interaction time with the
Yeah,
squad.
because I think we have Trofeo Berlusconi coming up with Monza after Barcelona,
Right,
and then we have the league, and then the league starts. Yeah.
right. So that would be at least five friendlies that we would have played because Real Madrid was our third friendly already.
Yeah,
So
correct. Yeah.
so I think the Inter game is probably gonna be, and I think I'm not, I don't know Fonseca, I don't really know, okay, or whatever, but I think that's probably gonna be where management is like looking to see where the real measurement between progress between last year and this season
I
is.
honestly look. I think it's a little bit unfair. It's a little bit too soon. It's a little bit harsh to
You don't
judge
think
him
10
already.
games is enough? You don't think 10 games preseason and 10 games? Well, I mean,
No,
okay,
not
just
really.
you don't think
I
10
think
games.
maybe 3 or 4 months, 4 months, unless everything is a disaster. But let's say he wins some games nicely, and we can see that the midfield is holding, and then he loses against Inter. I don't think it's a big deal. But if
Okay.
he loses every game going to the fifth, then yeah. I personally would give him a little bit more time.
So you would be okay if we won three out of the five games and we lost to Inter in that in out of like in the first five.
It's a realistic outcome.
I think that would be going according to plan. Yeah, according to top four. And if we can win all five, then that means we're probably setting ourselves up well for the final quarters. Most likely, if we can get 3 wins, a tie, and let's say we lose against Inter, that's not bad. That's not bad in the first 5 games.
Yeah.
Ideally, ideally, back when we used to live in the normal planet, no, we expected to win all 5 games dominantly. But based on what we have now, based on what the objective is, which is top four, yeah, you want to get at least minimum 12 points in these 5 games, minimum. If you can't do that, that might be a problem.
Yeah, and I think history would show that the teams that go on a good run in the first half of the season normally tend to end the season relatively strong. So, I think it's going to be important. But like I said, I think Um, I think the players are adapting to his, and you saying it's very similar. I'm saying it's close, it's similar, but it's different in the sense of
I mean,
uh,
look, Ace, and then
what he wants players to
I
do.
want to get Clinton here, but Ace, I want to say something, okay? Whether he plays better or prettier football, it doesn't really matter because last year Pioli in his kind of football, he scored a lot of goals. What's going to matter is the defense. How many goals is he going to concede, and can he win big games?
Exactly. We
And
scored
Those
a
are the
bunch
things
and
that
of
are
I'm
going
goals.
to
saying
We
matter.
scored a bunch of goals last year.
I'm saying a good indicator for you should be the fact that, like, remember a couple of weeks ago there was this clip of Fonseca coaching how to defend. Um, and
No, no,
it was
that's
funny.
not a
Bro,
good.
You
bro,
know,
come
it was
on, bro.
funny because like that's literally what I coach my under 13 kids. Like,
Yeah,
that's like
exactly.
it. And so the fact that for 5 years some of these guys like didn't practice, didn't like do those things.
No, like
Look.
come
What
on.
I'm saying is
You
that
think Pioli didn't teach him that?
I mean, clearly not. If
Come
Fonseca
on.
two guys how to do this.
Bro, come on, bro.
Come
The
on. Let's be
problem is
real.
we didn't
Let's
have
be real.
CDMs, bro. We don't have.
Fonseca
But
has a better goal, like
then
goal,
Pioli?
like yeah, he has a better. Uh, I can't remember what they call it exactly, but he
Well,
concedes less goals than
last
than.
season, yes, but I mean, listen, the year that we won the Scudetto, Milan conceded 31 goals. So
Exactly.
Pioli has that in him too.
Okay, but do you think the defense that we had the year we won the league is stronger than the one we have now
Bro,
with this new striking, with this
it's
No,
a
the
big new
double
midfield
signing?
is the
pivot, bro.
difference.
It's the
It's the
midfield, bro.
midfield
It's
that
the
makes the
Okay,
difference.
yes,
midfield.
I'm not speaking to the midfield though, but because yes, the midfield has
But you
never
have
been the
to.
same. The midfield hasn't been the same since Cassie left.
But that's the
Yeah.
point. That's the point that we're making, bro. It doesn't matter how good your back line is. If your midfielders cannot provide any shielding, you're going to
Yeah.
concede a bunch of
That's
goals. That's just
that's
how it
that's going to be
works.
the factor. I think. Yeah. I think.
But
Yeah.
but yes, of
I
course.
think we had two top level class midfielders in Tonali and Benacer. That made a
Because
huge difference.
okay,
That
so
made a huge difference.
let's analyze this.
But
When we
Benacer, I
had
Tonali
think, is going
Kessié.
to be important for
So,
us
so,
this season.
so, sorry, Tonali and Kessie, my bad.
but let's look at this. Let's look at this. When we had Tonali and Kessie, our back line at the last few games of the season was or the center back pairing was Tamori and Kalulu.
Kalulu. Yeah.
Then we lose Kessie. We lose a big player. Then we start seeing these guys get exposed because they're being attacked
Yeah.
more and more and more. Then we lose Tonali. And then our partnership pairing is Chow and Tamori. And what happens? The same thing, but on a
It
larger
gets worse.
scale. It gets
Yeah.
worse because these guys are being attacked more and more and more. They don't get time to breathe. Every time the opponent has the ball, they bypass the midfield and they attack our center backs every single time.
And
So they get
this is,
exposed.
yeah. And this is what the difference between Inter and Milan, the salary cap. Because we have that stupid salary cap, we couldn't sign Kessie. Kessie was the big guy. Kessie was really the guy that made the difference. Tonali also, but Kessie was the big guy. And this is why Inter can do what they're doing because they have the 130 million salary cap. Milan has to keep their salary cap low, and that's why they didn't renew Kessie. And this is the issue. So you don't renew Kessie, you get these other players, and
I don't think
whatever.
I don't. Okay, and listen, I
Clint,
don't
we're
like
coming to you, bro. Just finish it.
I don't like Jerry, and I don't like Redbird because I don't like the whole making Milan a business school where you teach people and the fans now know things like buy low, sell high, that kind of shit. I hate that.
Yeah.
But I would say that I think there is a possibility that the salary cap is like proportionate to the revenue and stuff. So there is a chance that it can increase. But like I say, I'm just saying.
Well, let's see. It
Let's see.
hasn't so far.
Hey, at the end of the day, and I mean anybody that's in business knows that a business when a business starts, it needs at least 3 to 5 years to catch itself. So Redbird are going into their third year of ownership. So let's just see. We're still speculating at the end of the day, even though we know they
But what about the
desecrated
years
Maldini's
before,
name.
though? What about the years before?
What do you mean? What years before?
I mean,
With
because
Elliot?
we fixed the budget the year we won the Scudetto. That's when we fixed the budget. That's when, and then the year after, getting to the semifinals of the Champions League. That's when we started to make profits. So
Right.
now, honestly, this business model has been going on since 2020,
Right.
2019.
Right. But Red
Right.
Bull only took over when we were in the green.
Yeah,
So
but that's not because of them though.
exactly, but it's not because of them. So, but we don't really know what the fuck Redbird. Excuse my language, but we don't really know what Redbird like. We know what they're about, what they said, and what we what they continue to
Yeah,
say. But they could be saying those things. We don't really know. We need to give
yeah.
them a little bit more time to see. I mean, they haven't sold Leao or Theo or Mike Magnon, knock on wood, yet. This summer. So
I mean, we got if a if a bid comes in for what they're worth, they're going to be gone.
not gonna be worth it.
Um, yeah. One thing that we still really need to see is that salary cap. Is it going to go up or is it going to stay the same? Anyway, guys, we got the king of soccer economics in the house. He hasn't said a word yet. Clint, are you there? What's going on?
Listen. I know. First of all, I know you buffoons are happy. That's why y'all got on the line. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. You guys are happy with the victories. Y'all try to play reverse
Hell yeah,
psychology,
bro.
talking about like, oh nah, like oh we gonna say we won the World Cup, but the what? Tell the truth. You guys were happy because if we would have lost, y'all would have came on here and be like, yo, see, but didn't happen. You guys are happy. I want to get out the
Yo,
way. You guys
we
are
beat
happy.
Man City and we beat Real Madrid, dude. Come on.
Boom.
Yeah, and say that good. Anyway, it's good sign. It's good sign, no matter if we play kids or not. Anyway, but one thing I'll say though, it's bro, like I still don't know what our style of play is after the 3 games I watched. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm.
What do you
And
mean? What do you mean? You don't know what
no,
style of play?
listen, when I say I don't know, like these victories for me, I'm happy that we won. So Fonseca doesn't get to hear my mouth at all. So I'm gonna shut up. I guess he shut me up, but it just I think it's a bit fluky. Like the way you just can't rate
What?
this and go into the league thinking like you're really ready to be like, oh yo, bro, we're doing such and such. We don't have all our players. I mean, half of them kids I'm seeing on the pitch. My question I'm asking now is like if Cuenca and all these guys are playing, then why do you even let Simic go? Because I think there was like a Simic
Exactly.
type
Yeah,
of I think
Simic wanted
Exactly.
guaranteed first team
but they
time.
could have. I think they could have guaranteed him. They could have guaranteed him, tell him he'll compete. They could have lied to him.
No,
I
we
mean,
couldn't.
corporate
No,
people are
we
good at
just
doing that.
Clint. How could we do that? We just bought another centre back.
Yeah,
We
we
have
could
time. We have
before we bought. All I'm saying is, if I'm seeing the Liberal and all these guys, I don't see why. I'm still trying to understand the logic. People, I don't think it's just Simic wanted to leave. I know we were saying that, but it had to be other things.
the
Like
other things were Clint that
eh,
we have a very strong defense, as Roy and we were just talking about.
I don't
We
know
don't.
about that,
No,
bro.
we
I don't
do. We have
know. I
we
don't
and our a
know.
lot of our
No,
defenders are still very young. I don't think
no.
Simic.
I don't believe that strong defense. No, it's a stretch, bro. It's a stretch.
Okay, so who
It's a
does
stretch.
Simic start? Who does Simic start in front of?
Literally Simic can challenge Gabia and Tiao's spot. That back and forth next alongside Tomori.
Clint, I'll be honest.
Forget that we went and bought Pavlovich, right? But I think Simic literally could have put himself in pole position because people are gonna get injured. Let's not forget. See, the thing is crazy. What I feel like when Milan fans is like when the preseason start and all these players are there, we keep thinking like, oh yeah, no, we're good. I think we're complete. When we forget, like half of these guys are gonna disappear when the season starts, and then we're gonna be back again to the injuries.
Hey, don't put
I
that
don't
juju
think he's
out
gonna
there.
disappear.
Don't put that juju
Hey,
out there.
and
No,
Clint
it's
to
not.
be
It's a true juju, bro. It's not even to
Clint
put it out
Clint
there.
Clint, to be honest, as well
Look at
with the
this
way.
nigga Nathan. You whispering because your wife got a gun to her head. You don't want
Hey,
to lie. Speak a little boy. I can't
hey,
hear you.
Clint. But to be honest, Clint, even with the way Tamori's been playing, he could challenge Tamori too.
Yeah,
I don't
Tamori
think
for
anyone's
me.
safe. I don't think anyone's safe.
I don't think anyone's safe. So I think the kid could have stayed. He just had to believe in him. And just he's selling him for $3 million. When I'm looking at other transfer window, they're selling no name
Yeah,
academy graduates from Man United. All them
yeah.
people. Like, I don't know if y'all been paying attention to them transfer
Look
windows
at what you look
in
at Juve,
England.
dude.
They're
Look at
paying
Juve.
they're paying all these no name academy people like for 10 mil. They said, I'm like,
Yeah,
how we selling
bro,
our prospect for 3? Like,
dude.
damn.
That kid Juve had, Huijsen, whatever his name is,
Yeah.
25 million. 25 million.
So I'm like, yo, how you got Simic? Like, how you selling it for 3 mil and then 50% release clause? Like, y'all making the same mistake with like what they did with Kerkez. Now Kerkez, like he's just keep going up and up. Every year I've seen him, he kept going up and up.
Okay,
Yep.
But anyway,
we bumped ahead with
yeah,
him. I
yeah,
mean,
but I'm not gonna, I'm gonna give for a second grace. I'm gonna wait until the season starts. I think so far, I mean, with the victory, the only thing I can say about these victories, though, I think is a good boost of morale, at least especially for the youngsters. Like you see people like Liberali, like it gives you confidence. So if
I
that
agree
rolls
with
in and
that.
then you get into
so
the
Clint,
first team,
Clint,
I
I
agree
think
with that.
it's a good
Clint,
highlight. Yeah.
Clint, you don't see that Fonseca wants to play his style is that he wants to keep the ball.
Yeah, but dude, like the problem is the keep the ball thing. We've done that before, right? We've done it under Pioli. There was times we keep the ball, but the problem is I want to see down the road, like having literally like a style of play or tactics, how to really score goals, not based
Hmm.
on individualism like the way Pioli was doing. Like legit having a concrete plan to be like, okay, these people are sitting on a low block. This is how we're going to operate. This is how we're
Right.
going to score.
Which is
Because
why
we got Morata now. We're not going to have, like, we haven't got a striker yet where, like, I'm thinking when the game is going to be as tough, the way Giroud with the headers and all that, putting it back, that's going to be a problem. You can no longer just drop the ball in. I don't know. So I just want to see down, like, how do we legit, what's the style of play for scoring goals? Because
And
that's one thing
Clint,
Pioli lacked. Like, Pioli lacked that big time.
no,
and,
but
and,
I
and
mean, in
Clint, we
this
don't
game
even
we
have
didn't have
Morata yet. We don't even have Morata yet, so we can't even create a style of play into our actual strikers here,
no.
which
We
won't be
have to
till 10 days.
no. You have to start. You can't wait until your star players come for your team to understand your philosophy, your style
The
of play. You
team
have to
has to understand him too. He's the
no.
striker
Hold
is
on.
one of the most important parts.
Right, but remember they would have been bringing in so he would have Fonseca would have said, okay, I like Morata because Morata's style of play, or you hear them say, Milan loves to say this now, their characteristics, the players' characteristics fit their system of play. So the way Murata runs, the way he likes to drop sometimes into a deep position to get involved with the play, or sometimes he will post up on a defender to be the outlet from the middle or from the wide left flank position to get the ball into the midfield third or attacking third. Like so so if you looked at the game tonight, you would see there were opportunities in the first half that Nesty missed, and you just knew that if Morata was in that position, that he would score. Or if Tommy Abraham, if that's whom Fonseca wants, you know they're gonna score because they're
Nah,
gonna
bro, that
because
Tammy shit, I'm not with that, bro.
I
I don't
know
want
I
no
know
Tammy
it's not
Abraham, bro.
somebody and I was telling Roy this earlier clip, like
But
I don't
but
necessarily
that's not a
want.
style of play. Just because a striker is there, he would have scored. That's not a style of play. That's just because he's in the right spot.
One thing to add though,
No, what do you
today
mean?
when I saw Kamada's first touch, I can say physically the kid is getting there though. So I don't see why he
Who?
shouldn't
Kamar.
half of the
What about
Yeah,
season.
Liberali?
agreed.
What
He
about
should
100%.
Liberali?
he should be he
100%.
should be compared to when he started last year, like this year, even a
Yep.
couple minutes, see him on the ball, like the way even he was just like fighting. You see physically he's building up there.
Yep.
There's no
Hey
reason he
Roy,
shouldn't be in the first team.
One
hey
No
hundred
Roy,
reason.
Yep.
percent.
hey
One
Roy. I have a
hundred
hot take
percent.
for you.
What's
I
up,
have
bud?
a hot take for you. Liberali over Guler.
I think Liberal is similar player. You know,
Oh yeah. I
Goulart is a
think
little
he's a
bit
little bit
more
more
of a
skillful
wing.
than Guler, but Guler could finish better than Liberali for sure.
Yeah, I think both. I think Liberali, Zeroli, Zeroli, Jimenez, and Camarda should all be registered for the
Yeah,
Champions League. It should
Like
be
I,
first team
100%.
I
for
would
this
be
year.
okay.
One
One
I
hundred
hundred
would be
percent.
okay
percent.
with. Be okay with
100%.
finishing third or fourth this season if all those players that you just called, Clint, get to play more this season. Like I would
Because
be
this year,
okay.
because listen, because this year is the ideal year. We're not really, the expectations are a bit low all across the board. The fans are not, we're not expecting to win no Champions League final or no Scudetto. Yeah, we may be expecting to compete, but I think this year, if you want to get away with murder, like this is where you try the kids. Not when that shit gets real down the road, if it gets real down the road. But I think this is the year where like now you can roll. That's why I'm a bit bummed like Simic left, because I think this is the year where these kids are allowed to have a chance.
But I
Right,
don't
because
think
it makes no sense to me. Where like this kid, for me, even physically, you saw he was built. Maybe they saw something we didn't see, and it's like, okay, we need to let this kid go. He's just not ready. But I want to understand what was the thought behind why
I
they
think
thought
it,
he couldn't compete with a Gabriel Child
I
for
think I
the
think
World
it
Cup.
I think it just came down to they because Milan did offer him a new contract. It's not to say they didn't want him. They wanted to offer him a new contract, but he wants to play first team football now. So
They hold on. They to be specific, they offered him a contract in the Milan Futuro, not in the first team.
El Futuro. I can see why kids also don't want to play in that Futuro bullshit, bro, because that can
I
also
mean,
be a
if you
no,
think
but the plan
you're
is to
better
get
than
them into
that,
Syria
if
B.
you think you're better than that, like Simic probably thinks he's better than that,
Yeah,
and I
that's it.
understand it. I get it. You know?
Right.
Yeah,
He should.
because do
Right.
you want to play? Because Milan, yeah, Milan is a big club, but like, why would I not want to go play with Anderlecht? Because Anderlecht is probably this Champions League caliber team. They
They're
qualify
in
for the
Champions
Champions League,
League.
and they play, you know. So it's like, y'all rather go play that. Why would I go? Because sometimes also, let's be honest, man. I feel like it's late. I feel like Milan Futuro late bloomers, fine, but all our Primavera players late bloomers. I don't think so, and that's a problem. Because
No,
would you
no,
want to
no.
stay
I
that
don't
Madre
think.
Liberali there? That's a problem.
I
That's
don't
a
think.
dead
No, no,
end.
no. I don't think
Clint,
Futuro
we're
is
on
for
the
late
same page.
bloomers. I don't think it's for late bloomers. I think it's to develop. I think the goal is
No,
to
it
get.
should be. It should
Yeah,
not be for the
but here's
best
the
players.
problem. Listen,
It
hold
should
on,
not be
No,
Nathan.
for
the
the best
goal should be
players.
get.
Nathan,
The
Ace,
goal
let
should
me
be
add
to
this,
get
bro.
them into Syria B. So you
But
need
Nathan,
Simic to sign and
but,
go into Syria C
Ace,
and
listen.
win Syria C to get into Syria B.
But Ace, listen. Here's the problem, bro. These new kids, I was it Gen Alpha, Gen Zers, whatever they are. Listen,
Gen
them
Z.
kids are on social media. They're seeing their peers playing first team football, bro.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, like
Exactly.
they're not gonna put up with this development stuff. They're not gonna care because when they're looking at the other Gulers of the world, they're looking at the Yama. I know these are generation talent, but kids sometimes they don't think in that mode. They're like, yo, if he can do it, I can do it. They seen youngsters
Yeah,
starting all across. Look at that Kurbasi from Barcelona, 17, coming fitting in right in the first team. So players at that level, and here I'm speculating here, but I'm just making a reasonable assumption. I'm thinking somebody like a Simic be like, okay, the way Kubarsi is able to go into the first team, like Milan can't really go and buy star defenders like that. Yeah, why can I not play first team football? And that's how they're looking at it.
and
And I
I
think
mean,
listen, Clint,
I
Clint,
agree. I don't know
Simic,
why they didn't
Simic
spend
is
more
not
money.
17. Simic is gonna turn 20 soon.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
No, but
so you
I
look at
think
that because they look
I
at
don't
it.
understand why we didn't send him
And
on
I'm
loan.
pretty sure the one
But
that started a domino effect was Kirkes because he played with these guys. They saw him keep going up. It's like, yo, we play with this guy. Yo, fuck that. We're gonna go on the
Exactly.
same wave. They talk.
the reason
Clint,
why I
we're on
don't
the same page, bro. We're on the same
no, but
page.
the reason why I don't feel so bad about Kirkic is because we have Theo Hernandez, and Kirkic was he wanted to play first team football. He backed himself to the point where he's like, "Hey, I am ready to play in the Premier League and all." So when you have a player that there's not much you can do, you
Yeah, but
know.
we weren't going to play him at all. We were going to keep him with the kids.
Well, were you gonna play him in front of Theo Hernandez?
You can rotate the squad. That's why we
No,
have so
you're
many
not gonna
injuries,
rotate Theo Hernandez. You want Theo
bro.
Hernandez to get
You
good.
don't need Teo Hernandez against Empoli or
Okay, listen.
Salernitana.
You need to understand something. It's not like a video game, okay? Like players need reps.
Okay,
Hold
here
on,
we
listen,
go.
just hear me out. At the time when we had Theo Hernandez and Kukic, Theo Hernandez was still developing as a footballer, as a defender. He wouldn't be as good as he is right now if he didn't play as many games as he did for Milan.
Bro,
So
stop it, bro.
no, I'm
Come
being
Well,
on.
listen,
honest.
I have to agree here more with Ace because I think when you have a situation like Theo Hernandez, that's kind of unique because you have the best fullback in the market. You have the number one guy. You have the guy at the top of the pyramid. So whoever comes there isn't going to get much playing time. Well, that's a fact,
Okay.
Nathan.
Kirk, I
That's a fact.
understand that, but Kirk
But
isn't 24. He's
yeah,
he
but
was
yeah. Anyway, Pioli. I don't think Pioli was about to play him. You know, Pioli was playing
exactly.
all
He wasn't
his
gonna
Yeah,
play him.
Pioli
his
also wasn't
favorites.
very good with young players.
So
So it's
Pioli
not the
was not
same
about to play
thing.
him. But I think rotation is going to be really important because yeah, it's going to be important going again like this year, making sure we don't lose play. But we definitely need a defensive midfielder, man. They need a I just cannot upset I cannot accept us going into this season again and not having that question answered. I'm sorry, bro. Go get somebody, even if it's a fucking City cheap player. We need somebody there.
Amrabat.
Like
Amrabat,
fuck,
maybe.
I don't know,
Nobody's
man.
talking about Amrabat.
He lost his
No,
fucking
I think
sauce since.
Man U's thinking about signing him.
No, I don't think they're going to. They have to
I
move for
thought
it,
they
but
sent
it's
him
been
back.
FVP is gonna come down. They didn't redeem him.
No, it
They're
just
getting
ended. His loan
yeah,
ended.
his loan ended. They didn't redeem him. They're getting other profiles. I don't think they're just gonna keep buying players to this guy. They're not getting Mazarawi. He's going over there. Like
Okay, okay. Which players impressed you the most so far for Milan in the
more for me,
preseason?
it's Salad, man. Salad, man.
Salamakers.
Yeah, Salamakers and Liberali, those two for
Yeah,
me.
Salad, man, and also what's his name?
I
Cuenca. I
would
like
say
how Cuenca
Liberali.
plays. I like how
Who?
Cuenca plays. Cuenca.
Cuenca.
Yeah, I like how he plays.
Yeah,
Even though you can tell he's young, but I like how he plays though. He's really tall. I like how he plays.
he's
Like I
Hey
think we
slippery,
guys,
should
huh?
keep him developing well.
there's a quick question here. Quick question here. Quick answers. How would the panel rate Redbird acquisition so far out of 10?
Bro, it's a 2 out of 10, boy. What are you talking
Two
about?
out of 10?
Nah,
Damn.
We only
nah.
got more. What do you get?
I'll get him a easy. I'll get him five.
No.
5? No, it can't. That just not cannot be a 5. I'm sorry,
No,
you
I
cannot
mean,
give them a 5. You
what do you
tripping?
mean?
What would you give them a 5, bro? They only got replacements. They haven't got nothing something that we need. They got a Giroud replacement, and then they got a Kiara replacement with Pavlovic.
They
So I don't know
resigned.
how this is even making the 5.
Okay, they resigned Leao, so I'll
No,
give
no,
them.
no.
No,
They get.
Maldini.
no, that don't count.
They,
Maldini.
No,
yeah,
they
but
didn't. No, they're
they
talking
Wait,
about
was
this
that
Maldini.
market. They're talking about
was
this
that
market.
them
was that them?
Who?
or was it
That
Elliot?
resigned,
Oh, that's a good question,
That
actually. I
was
don't know.
Elliot.
who resigned who resigned Leao?
Who said
Yeah.
who?
Yeah,
It's
was it
Fulani.
Elliot or
No,
no? But was
Fulani.
it
It's
under
Fulani.
Elliot or under Redbird?
No. So it's Fulani that resigned them under Redbird. Fulani personally resigned Leao.
But it was under Redbird, not Elliot.
Literally, the report said Maldini couldn't close the deal, and Fulani they came and closed the deal. As much as we don't like
No,
him, but they say he
that's
closed the deal.
that's that's not true. That's not true.
That
Nah,
is
that's
It's
not
bait.
true.
true.
That's
I mean,
That
bait.
y'all
is
saying no, but like that's what happened.
No,
Fulani resigned
no,
him.
Clint. Fulani was assigned to do that. Maldini was not assigned to do that. That's
Anyway,
what, bro.
but
That was Fulani's job.
it was under Redbird. But
So
that we're
Fulani
talking about
has to
this.
sign the contract.
Yeah, but we're talking about this market. We're not talking about Leao. That shit was
No,
like
no,
last
no.
year.
He's talking about the ownership in general.
In general, I don't
No,
even
I
want
mean
to speak on them.
I can't give them more than a five because they haven't done anything, and I can't give them less than a five because they. I mean, okay,
Bro,
I'm talking about
that,
this market.
they get a 0 just for firing Maldini.
I mean, okay, fine.
I'm
Like,
judging.
but I wasn't thinking about the
I give him a
Maldini
negative.
firing.
I give him a negative 10. Negative
Nah,
10.
I'm giving for this market. I'm not judging from stuff from last year because then also like their first year we made it to the semifinal of Champions League. There's other things, but I thought
No,
this
that
question
wasn't.
meant like this
No, no,
year.
no, no, no,
Yo,
no, no.
That
yo,
Clint,
wasn't
Clint. They
yo,
Redbird.
did. No, 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 Clint.
yo.
No,
Jerry
no.
didn't even know Milan was
There we
this.
go.
This
Oh my God.
No,
Jerry
Clint,
didn't
Clint.
even know Milan's history in the Champions
No,
League.
no, no. Clint, Clint, Clint. In the interview, Jerry literally said his first year he decided to do nothing. He
It's
had
under
no
this
part.
leadership.
No,
But it's
I
under
don't.
this leadership.
Get the fuck out of
I'm
here, man.
sorry. As much as it sucks, but it's under this leadership. They
No,
made it
no,
to
no, no, no.
semifinal. You can't give it to Elliott, bro. So yeah, can't. We can't pick and choose. I'm sorry. We can't pick
No, no,
and choose.
no. I'm not. I'm not looking at the results. I'm looking at how they treated Milan. I think they're treating Milan like if Milan was Atalanta.
Obviously, based on the little PR, the little freaking war tour they've been doing lately, you can just see you can just see already, like, when I'm seeing fucking Pulisic and Zlatan on Good Morning America, I'm like,
Oh
oh
my
my
god.
days, bro.
What's
This is
wrong
like
with that? What's wrong
Hollywood.
with a little bit of what's wrong with a little bit of exposure?
No, that's a big, for me, it's a big problem because that's not, for me, the reason why it's a problem is I've seen this playbook before just based on somebody that watches American sport, right? And the reason why I say that is, us that watch American sports, most of players that do that, like they're usually on panels and all that, they tend to not be locked in, and then they start chasing the fame, and other people want to chase the fame. Even when I'm seeing Leo and all that stuff, you start chasing the fame. You're no longer locked in because last time I'll give you an example. For example, right? Look at basketball. You're rarely gonna see a LeBron James or like the Kevin Durant go on these late night shows or any of that goofy
Hey,
shit. I promise you, they
hey
don't.
Clint, hey Clint, hey 1 second, big up to Leao. Congratulations, Rafa. He's
No,
gonna
I
be a
love
dad.
Leo. Hey, bro, I never was
For
slander my
me,
boy
for
Leo.
me, for me, sperm
The
so
Leo
strong.
slander.
He's about to push out 2. You know what I
Too,
mean?
yeah, and I know who he got right there. See, I'm always gonna protect. I'm always gonna be protective of Leao. I'm not gonna allow Leao slanders. But I rest my case. Today is not about Leao, but I'm just saying about the whole PR rolling thing. Like you seeing Jerry, like they doing that shit at the New York Stadium, at the Yankee Stadium, and all the exposure. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's cool. It get people to come in, but I feel like sometimes it's like the wrong fans that will be coming in.
Hey,
You
Clint.
can't judge how people would support. But
Hey,
it's
hey,
just your typical. It's like fuck. I'm
Clint,
already
how do
hearing.
you feel about the 50 Milan fans in the United States? Or 50 million
Oh my
Milan fans?
god. Oh my god. See,
it's,
it's just these
it's
things like
actually 15 million Milan fans in USA. Like
shit. It's
when he said that,
Horrible.
I think he misquoted it. I think he meant to say like
Yeah,
15
he
million
said
in the Western
football
Hemisphere.
fans. Football fans. He meant to say.
Oh my lord.
He meant to say there are 50 million or soccer fans in America, and that's what we want to tap into.
Yeah, maybe that's what he meant to say.
I mean, anyway, I mean, Zlatan is going around. He their fall guy. I'm seeing what he's going to do. I think we're gonna judge them when next season ends with this, whole Zlatan thing. But I just feel like there was too much PR going on, and I was like, bro, let's
Yeah,
So hold
let's
on.
get
If we
signings. I want to see signing. Like if I want to see I want to see Milan in the fucking news. I want to see like, yo, who the fuck signed? Not this Good
what if
Morning
we win the
America. Go
league?
on my YouTube and seeing Christian Pulich on Good Morning America, bro. Like,
What
come
if
on.
we
yeah.
win the league with Morata and Tammy Abraham and Emerson Royale?
Bro, oh my God,
Good
bro.
for them, man.
Fuck. Why are we getting Emerson Royale, dog?
Because he's the next Cafu. Don't you understand?
No, man.
Shit, man.
I
I
don't
mean,
understand those
I'm not,
signings, but
I'm not gonna share judgment, but I'm gonna tell you, like, none of these signings, the Pavlovich and all that shit, and I'm not being negative by any means, but they don't really excite me to be like, oh my God. Morata's the
no, I
only
agree.
one when I'm like, yeah, we get Morata, like,
No,
Morata
Morata
will
only
give you goals. That's it.
Morata only
He's
feels
hired for
good.
me.
Morata only feels good because he won a Euros.
But Tammy Abraham, bro. But like, what happened to your boy Kiza? Y'all paraded so much, bro. Even Tottenham don't want that fool. God damn, bro.
Oh, I would
Talking about
take
your boy
his. I
Kiza.
would jump the quiz and take his.
But nobody wants him, bro. That's sad, bro. He going down bad,
Just
Hey,
bro.
like
Clint.
just
He
like
Clint,
going
you know
Roy.
what's
Kiesa.
hey,
Ed, Clint,
you
Clint,
know what's even better, Clint?
just like Roy's boy Pioli. Is Pioli have a job yet, Roy?
damn.
But
Even the
that
Cam
is
only,
such.
even the
He's
fucking
gonna
Cam
have a
only
job eventually,
refused him. That's crazy. Benzema said
guys.
I'll
no.
get a job
Benzema
eventually.
said keine. Yo,
Hey,
Guys,
Benzema
Clint.
it's not that when a coach gets sacked right the day after he gets a big job right after. It depends what's available. It depends
oh, he got a big
many
job,
factors.
and they told him no. He said,
No,
"Niet." They're
no,
like, "We
but
don't want
Pioli
to
is
give
okay.
you."
Pioli is still getting paid by Milan.
God
Like
damn.
he's
Yo,
fine.
imagine getting
Yeah.
refused from Saudi Arabia, bro. How bad? Oh my God.
No. Benzema.
Benzema said
Yeah.
no. Still
Yeah,
made the
Because
call.
Benzema.
he,
They made the call. They're like, nah, you don't want him there.
Damn.
That's crazy,
That
bro. Imagine
that
the Saudi League
that
don't want you.
that
No,
that
but
that's how
I
you
already know
get
what's gonna happen
your
with Pioli.
reps sucks.
Let me tell where Pioli goes next year. Mark my words. Pioli's gonna be Lazio next coach. He's gonna go back to Lazio. Watch.
What about
Lat-
if he
Latch is
would
gonna
you
suck
accept him
so.
as the
Nah,
Italy
I think
coach?
he's gonna be Bologna's next coach.
No, 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 no. Latch is gonna suck so bad. He's gonna go. He's gonna go. He's gonna go to Lazio. He's gonna take that Lazio job back.
Nah, I think is it? I think what's his name? The
Or
guy.
Roma. I can see him also go to Roma because I
What about the
reckon
national
De
team
Rossi's
coach,
gonna
Clint?
get sacked. Huh?
Would you think Italy would take him as the national coach?
Oh,
Nope, nope, never, never, never. Ooh, hell
I
no.
mean, they've done worse, so
hold on,
probably.
but you
Yeah,
want
but
you think
I don't think they're
Italian
gonna go
is
that low. I think if I look at if I look at the pecking order, I think they'll take Sadi before they take Pioli.
I mean,
To
they
be
took
honest.
Ventura,
Yeah, I
they
know,
took
but
Prandelli.
the worst. Yeah, I mean, Prandelli brought them to the final though. Let's not
Yeah,
cap.
Prandelli did good. Prandelli did good, but Prandelli at least he didn't win anything. And Pioli at least won the Scudetto. I mean, listen, I don't have all this resentment towards Pioli. You know, his cycle is over.
yeah,
It's
I don't
time for
hate
him
him,
to move
but
on.
he's school, you know. He's just not a good football coach, but he's a good
Yeah,
person.
I mean, for me, Pioli was not what for me, Pioli tactically, like he was lopsided, right? He
Very
couldn't put two
limited.
and two together, because he'll get defense right, but then attack will be wrong. He'll get attack right and defense is wrong, and he can't connect the two. And then that's the problem with him. And connecting the two, translating that into a game, it's meaning knowing how to read the game and making tweaks, which he couldn't. Like if you knew, like you guys were speaking earlier, if you knew you lost Kessie, like why are you stuck around? Why are you still caught up and try to do double pivot? When you know the double pivot, like
Yeah.
the one thing about the double pivot is like when you get caught off guard, you're disorganized. And
Oh,
there's only two
yep.
midfields, and Kessie is no longer there to clean up the mess. Then why do you want to stick to that when that dude had lung of a fucking horse
But
to
this
be
is
able to
why
run
Yep.
back and forth?
I'm
You don't have
optimistic
that, and
about
that used to be my problem with Pioli. That used to be my
this is
problem with him.
but
It's like, bro,
this
you
is
don't got these guys, right? When the Tomori is not there, why are you still playing a fucking high line with Kiar in the back and we get caught off guard? It's things like that used to be pissing me off. I'm like, bro, you can't play that. You don't have that exact player that you needed. Like, why are you still? So I don't know, man. But
I mean,
anyway,
but this is
he's
why I'm
gone.
happy that we have anybody except Purely as a coach, right? And I mean, remember Pulisic came out close to the end of the season last season and said that there weren't really any real tactics, you know, discussed or set
Yeah.
up.
Okay, but Pulisic needs to score some big goals before he can talk. You know,
Yeah,
like
Pulisic needs to perform in
He,
a big game before he has the right to say
I
anything.
agree. I don't think he played. I don't think he stepped up in big games. But I also think that Chukwueze is going to step up first this season. I think he's definitely going to be influential this season for us as
I
well.
mean, if he doesn't this season, I think they're gonna sell him. So he's
Yeah.
under
But
pressure. He's
I,
under pressure.
I mean, he got more of a chance than De Ketelaere did. You know,
No, stop this. De Ketelaere played a lot. He played a lot. Stop acting like De Ketelaere was just like some bit part player.
he
He had a
played
lot of minutes at Milan. A lot.
more than
A lot
half
of
of his games
starting
were
minutes.
coming on as
No,
sub.
that's a lie. He
No,
he
no,
was
no,
Barely
starting.
Carlos.
started.
For me, it's
Probably
-10.
started in like 15 games max. I don't
Bro,
think.
I'm sorry.
I don't think.
CDK's problem was that he can't
With
handle
him.
the pressure of Milan. That's his problem.
I don't know. I don't think it's the pressure of Milan. I think it was.
It's the pressure, bro. He came from Club Bruges, a team that's like Atalanta in
Mm,
terms of
but
pressure.
Dathan, you said it
No,
yourself that he was being played out of
Bruges
position.
Yes,
is
he
one
was
of the
playing out of
biggest clubs in
position, but he
Belgium.
still couldn't handle the pressure
No,
of the game,
Nathan,
of
Club
the
Brugge is
shirt.
one of the biggest clubs in Belgium, if not the biggest club in Belgium.
Yes, but you cannot compare the pressure and the weight of the jersey of Club Bruges and Milan. You
How
can't
how
do it.
how?
What do you
Like
mean? How does Club Bruges have 7 Champions Leagues?
no. You
Okay,
think
then.
about it.
What
You
do you
need to think about it
mean?
like you need to think about it in proportion to like relativity.
No,
It's
no,
about
bro.
no. It's think about it. No, but you can't think about it like that. You have to think about it like if I'm playing football in Belgium for the biggest club in Belgium, then the pressure in Belgium is going to be just as big in Belgium for
No,
somebody who is playing for the biggest club in Italy. May not
no,
be the
it's
same
not.
size
No,
stadium.
that is wrong.
I,
That is
I don't know.
wrong.
I think there are some parallels between playing for a big
No.
club in Belgium and playing for a big club.
That
Well,
means you can
I think
that
the
means you
pressure
can
is going to
say
be
that.
the same.
You can say that about every single league in the world then. Whoever's the best team in that league around the world will have the same pressure as playing for Milan or Real Madrid. You can say that about everyone, Ben.
I'm saying the pressure is relative to the
It's not.
country or to the league that they're in. I'm not saying that they, let's say Club America in Mexico, they're just as big as Real Madrid, and the expectations are the same globally. No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying in Mexico, it's the expectations of Club America fans that their club wins a trophy every single year. And all I'm saying is that, yeah, so when they came to Milan, okay, Club Bruges wasn't as big as Milan, but the expectation when you play for Club Bruges is that you win you win and you get into Champions League and you perform well all the time. So
Yeah, no, and that's a fact,
in,
right?
in,
That's a fact. And I'm pretty
You
sure y'all
can
speaking about
say
it.
that about every
No,
team
no,
in
but
Europe or every
no,
league in Europe.
no,
yeah,
no,
but that yeah, but so at the end of the day, from last time I checked, Nathan, see the thing you need to specify is your style of play in that league might be different, but I think the thing when they say expectation and stress, I don't think you can quantify that. Like Ace is saying, I agree with him. It's the same. Like if you were playing for Club America or Seattle Sounders in the United States, when you're in the big set expectation, meaning like you're stressed out. I don't think that stress is quantifiable where you put on a coefficient like it's lower than the other. I think when you go to Madrid, you still it's like having the how you call that fucking like having what is it when you're fucking when you freeze. I forgot the name of it.
Stage
Like
fright.
huh?
stage
Stage
fright.
fright.
Right. So when you go into that frenzy thing, I think it's the same all across. Right? Think about different things that you did in life when you're going, or they say somebody has stage fright. If you have stage fright, I don't think there's a difference between the stage fright that you had in front of 300 people and like 10,000 people. I think it's still the same.
What?
Yeah,
What?
I agree. I agree.
What?
Same
Deep
symptom.
down, it's
No.
still the same in terms of
It's the
feeling,
same
in terms of the
trigger.
chemical that get released in your body. It's still the same. Always saying is, always saying is this: with when you look at CDK, like Ace is saying, like the bridge expectations were high still. Like you still had some type of like you couldn't be lax. I know Milan is another level. We don't refute that, but I don't think there's that difference when you're playing for a club, whatever locally. Somebody coming from Ajax, it's just like the expectation that I'm not. I'm trying to separate expectation, how you feel, and then the talent piece. That's what I'm trying to separate.
Okay,
Like
okay,
if
but I think there is a good point in saying he came to a new club, new country, huge, much more difficult league,
yes,
much
to
more
adapt.
all of that. So a little bit more difficult with that. But on top of that, you're being played in the wrong position. It
Mm,
makes it very difficult for him
mm.
to thrive.
Yeah, because now you can't tell me, oh, okay, Atalanta. See, and that's my problem with Nathan. I have because you say Atalanta is his level. He's not Milan level, but then you Nathan, you want Atalanta level players on our team, so you need to pick and choose.
Wait, hold on.
Who?
I think if CDK came back to Milan, he'd be fine. I think he'd be fine.
That's what I'm
That's
saying. But
See,
then the same Nathan will turn around and be like, oh, but Zaniolo this, Zaniolo this. Zaniolo's going from club to club. He's turning into a club whore. But then you want to make excuse for him. Let's see next year. Let's
hey,
see if he's
damn,
better than
Nick.
That,
CDK on
I
that
would
team.
take
no,
a
that
player,
Clint can say
right?
whatever he wants, but to sit here and tell me that the pressure is the same thing, nah, bro, you ain't gonna
No,
convince me of that.
when I said the pressure is the same thing, when I when I
You
mean the
ain't gonna
pressure is the
convince me
same.
of that,
Listen, no,
bro.
no, no, no. When I said the
So
pressure in the
we
same
might as
thing,
well
no.
we
Listen,
might as
Nathan,
well go
let me
buy
know. Let me
any
rephrase that and make
random
it clear.
player who's a winner in their rinky-dink ass league and bring them to Milan because the
Let me
pressure
tell
should be
you,
the
no, when I
same.
said the
No,
pressure is the
you ain't
same,
gonna convince me,
listen,
bro.
Nathan,
No,
when I said the pressure is the same thing, I'm talking about more in terms of like the feeling interiorly that you can't really quantify. Now, in terms of like wherever you are, yeah, it's going to be a difference in terms of pressure. But I think about like the feel, like the way you feel like when you start a game and you're not feeling well. I think it's the same all across. I don't think somebody has higher chemical imbalance when it comes down to that than the other. That's what I'm trying to get at. What I'm trying to say is, like, let's say if it's an Ajax derby, like you're playing a derby, let's say in the Netherlands. I think the pressure that these players feel internally, I think it's no different than what people feel in the Milan derby. Now the stages can be different, but I'm talking about
the
internally, like in
environment
terms of
might be
chemical.
different,
I
the
don't think
atmosphere
it's a
might be
difference.
different, but
I'm
the
sorry, I
feeling that the
completely
player,
disagree. If you
no, no,
put
no,
CDK
the,
in a El Clasico game, he completely falls apart 100%.
Right, but
regardless of where he plays,
but
because the
CDK in the
pressure of that game
Anderlecht
is too big.
versus Bruges derby, he doesn't fall apart.
Because it's not as
Right,
big.
because it's not as intense in that country. Those people that support Anderlecht and Bruges aren't as passionate as people that support Barcelona
I
and
give
Real Madrid.
I give you something. I'll
Okay,
tay you something. I'll tell
so
you
that's what
something.
you're saying,
No, I
basically,
tell you. No,
Nathan.
hold on. I give you an example. I'll give you a perfect
The
example.
passion
Listen,
isn't the
I want
same in
I
all
want to get away from the
countries.
CDK. Okay, I'll give you an example where stress is usually high, but people might not rate it. Le Classique in France, like Marseille against PSG. And you can say PSG got the better players, but that pressure is big just because of the fans and then the environment. It stresses them out. And Mbappe is one of the biggest players. You can call it Farmer League, I don't care. That thing, like at that level, if you would have spoke to Mbappe, yeah, he might tell you there's a difference in the game, but I'll tell you like the pressure. They'll tell you about that pressure they have when they're playing Marseille. No matter how better they are than them, they'll tell you they got some type of pressure that might be similar in certain games they had in Europe. And you might not rate Marseille, but that's what I'm trying to get at. I'm just saying the pressure internally, like you feel it. Now, if you want to conceptualize in different stages, yeah, it can be different, like overall as the game and what it entails. I agree with
I'm
you, Nathan, on that. But inside of it, like I think
I'm
if you have
sorry.
the munchies,
Okay, Nathan, let me ask you a question,
The
Nathan.
weight of the Milan jersey was too much for him to handle, plain and
Right.
simple.
So hold on. What is a bigger football brand? USA football or AC Milan football?
Of course, Milan.
Okay, so the weight and pressures that Christian Pulisic would have faced when he played for
Christian
America.
Pulisic also played in Europe well
Hold
before
on,
that.
hold on.
No, because you
Hold
can't
on.
use
The
Pulisic. You
pressure. Hold
cannot
on. So
use
the
Pulisic.
pressures that he felt would have felt when he wears the American shirt are less pressurized than the ones that he feels for when he wears the Milan shirt in
In
a World
United,
Cup.
listen, in the United
I don't think
States,
Pulisic is
no,
a
no, no,
good
no, no,
comparison.
no. It's not a good comparison. It's a garbage one. In the United States, sure,
Okay,
no
of
one
course it would
expects
be
them
because
to. No, no.
it doesn't fit
Listen,
your
no
agenda.
one, no. The United States is not expected to win the
I mean,
Copa.
sorry, Ace,
No,
but
wait.
Pulisic is much more accomplished than CDK. You know,
No,
like
but I'm
Pulisic
just
is already the captain of the
okay.
U.S. He won the Champions League.
Okay, fine.
It's
But
different.
I can use Yunus Musa. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
just trying.
Yunus Musa is a better example. Yeah.
Okay, but my point is,
And
what
Musa
I'm
was
trying to
garbage
ask is,
all last
do
year.
you do you think? Okay, so then why is it? Or do you value? Okay, do you value having a player that starts for their national country over somebody that sits on the bench, or doesn't
I
play for
don't
their
care. I
country?
don't care what country you come from.
No, but if you had to choose between someone that
No,
plays in
I
England,
don't
hold on.
care.
If you
I
had to
don't
choose,
care. I
no,
don't care.
so you don't care. You don't care if you get a starter for a France
I
team over somebody that never played for France.
I
I
do. I do. I do.
I do as well. And the reason why I do partly is because I know that player at some level could cope with the pressure of playing for their national country, which is somewhat parallel to the pressure that they might face at Milan.
you know
And
what the
that is the
diff
comparison that we're talking about.
No, our country is way more than Milan.
Okay,
Country is
fine.
way
Okay,
more.
and I agree with you. But for my argument,
Okay,
I'm
okay,
using that
wait.
comparison.
No, because Kessie is not expected to win the World Cup with his country.
no,
Meanwhile,
no. You
no,
enter wrong
Oh,
territory, my boy.
okay.
nope,
Yeah,
Trust
you
me,
just
you
went
enter the
there.
wrong
hey,
territory.
You
I
went
don't
Kessie,
on.
care.
listen,
Oh, here
Kessie
we
had
go.
listen. Kessie had
Don't
more
care.
pressure than the Ivory Coast. Kessie had more pressure than the Ivory Coast is not.
Clint,
Listen,
you gotta let me
listen.
finish,
Nations
bro.
are
You
footballing
gotta let me
nations. It doesn't
finish, bro.
matter why you feel
You
about
gotta
not
let
winning
me
the World Cup or
finish.
not.
Clint, you gotta let me
Kessie,
finish, bro.
listen.
If you
Kessie
don't let
had
me
more pressure
finish,
than Ivory Coast.
Oh,
Whatever you about to
Clint,
start,
look
I'm not
if
about
at
to
you
hear.
don't, no,
Okay.
then just be quiet and listen. You don't got to respond. You need to let me finish. Kessie is not expected to win the World Cup. Conte at France, they expect to win the World Cup. Musa in the United States is not expected to win the World Cup. But I guarantee you, you will take Kessie over any of those other midfielders. Am I right or am I wrong?
Listen to me before you
Stop,
continue with
stop,
yourself.
stop, stop.
No.
Clint,
Before you go,
But
no,
he
you gotta
is,
put
right?
into context.
he
Am
Let
I
me
is,
say
right?
this.
he is,
Let me add
Am
this.
I
he,
Let me add
right?
this.
hold on.
Casey is
Am I
But
expected.
right?
No,
the
listen.
team
Let me
Nathan.
say this
is
before you
expected to
continue.
win the
Let me
AFCON.
say
He
this
is
before you
expected to
continue.
win the
Let me say
AFCON.
this before you continue. Before you continue this argument. Let me say this.
Wait,
Most of
you guys
African
said
nations,
you
listen,
would
no, no,
take
no, no.
anyone.
Most
You
of
said
African
anyone.
nations, no, Nathan, you gotta
See?
listen.
You
You
see
had
how
to
you
listen
don't?
before. No, 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 no. You don't know what you're talking about. Most of
Okay.
African nations, listen, most of African nations are expected to win the African Cup of Nations, which is in comparison similar to World Cup when it comes down to the African fans, and it's a big deal. So they're expected to win that, and that's the pressure they
But
live with.
even if you're not expected to win, playing for your country is a
You're expected
huge,
to do well.
But
huge
as to this
expectation.
day,
Okay.
listen, to this day, you know, in the Ivory Coast, to this day in the Ivory Coast, people consider Yaya Toure a better, the best player out of the Ivory Coast than DJ
Clint,
Drogba because he won the African Cup
we
of
already
Nations.
talked about that. We agreed about that. When before United States entered the Copa, they were in what, the Gold Cup, right? They
Yeah.
were expected to win the Gold Cup. Am I
So
right
what?
or am I
So
wrong?
what? So
Am I
what? That
wrong?
means they didn't feel. That means the players
Wait,
didn't feel pressure.
so just like how you use
And they were
Texas
expected
expected
to
to
get out of
win
the
the
group stage of the Copa
stop, stop,
America. They were
stop,
expected to
hold
get out the group
Was
stage
that
of the Copa
Nathan?
America, where
on,
all
hold on.
everybody on the news in America, I follow U.S. soccer. Everybody in the news in America was going bonkers and going at these kids until
Clint,
this day, and that's
Nathan,
why
you
Clint,
just
Greg
have to bring
Berhalter got
the right
fired.
people.
Clint,
Sir.
calm down.
That's what I'm saying. No,
I
they had
said
expectations here, bro.
United
Don't act
States,
like the
nope,
U.S. is just some
because
sweet spot too. There's expectations
stop.
now.
Clint, hold on.
I mean, do you
I
even follow
I
U.S. news? Don't
I
tell the truth now.
I use the World Cup because all these teams play in it. I didn't use the
No, no,
separate
you can't do
competitions,
that though. You
but
can't
that's
do
what
that.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
you guys
Hold
told me.
on.
You guys told me
Mhm.
that you would select anyone from France because of where they play from. And I said, okay. I use the World Cup because Ivory Coast, France, and US all play in the same World Cup. I don't use the separate uh, individual tournaments because they don't all play there. So I'm using the same metric of where they all play.
Right.
So that's a fair comparison. So
So
when
But
I
what you're
in the
say,
saying?
World Cup, Ivory Coast
yes,
is expected to do well,
they're not expected to win,
but they're
France is.
expected to
Do
represent,
well. Yeah, yeah.
Africa.
There's
No, but
Listen,
expectations. Nobody
Nathan,
no,
listen.
maybe you don't expect Ivory Coast to win. Maybe
no
I
one
don't
expects
expect
them to
Ivory
win.
Coast to win. But people in Ivory
No
Coast
one
expect
does.
Ivory Coast to win or
No,
do as
But
well as they
no,
can.
but
So
the thing
the
about
pressures
African
are
teams
there.
is like the whole of Africa is behind these teams, so there's a lot of pressure on these teams
There's
for
a
I
lot
sure.
of
didn't
listen,
say no. I'm
and
not
that's the
saying there's
problem.
not passion.
Listen, let me tell you the
No,
pressure.
no.
What we're trying
You
to get
guys
at,
are you
Nathan.
guys are not
You
no
can't
no
use
because
that World Cup
you guys
metric.
So
That World
no.
Cup
what are
metric
you
is
getting at,
garbage.
Nathan?
I can't get
That World Cup
anywhere.
metric
Clint
is
doesn't
garbage
shut
because
up.
listen, when Italy listen, what is the pressure that Italy has? The pressure of Italy is even to qualify for the World Cup, not even winning it. And you're gonna tell me what? Oh, because they're not winning, we're gonna use the same context and it's not gonna apply to Italy. Italy is not expected even to win the World Cup right now. They're expected to even qualify, which they can't. But that's
Well,
expectations even
but
they gotta
the
live with.
Italians expect them to win it.
I'm talking about right now.
Okay,
They're expecting them to
okay,
qualify.
okay, but it's not about because Nathan was saying would we choose Cassie over Conte? It's not about whether we would choose. It's not about the quality. We're not talking to
Who
the
has more
quality of the
pressure to
player.
win?
We're
Who
talking
has more
about
pressure
the
to win?
pressure, the pressure of
Who
the
has
shirt,
more
the
pressure to
pressure
win?
of coping with playing
Who
in
has
big
more pressure to
games.
win?
But what are you getting at with this, Nathan? I don't understand. I don't understand what you're getting at.
The point of this is just because you play on a team that happens to win a rinky dink league does not mean you can handle the pressure anywhere you go. It doesn't work like that.
No, I'm not
That's
saying
the
that.
point.
The
I'm not
Belgian
saying that.
league is a rinky dink. I love it.
Yes, the Belgium league is a rinky dink league.
Yeah,
Right, and that same rinky-dink
no,
league
it's
will destroy probably any of the MLS teams. But my point is this:
I don't care
it's not
about the
about.
MLS.
Listen, it, Nathan, it's not about the quality of the league. I'm not speaking to the quality of the league. I'm speaking to the moment that big players or players that play in big
Right. All the big players. Listen, all the
when
big
hold
players
on,
coming from
just
small
now
leagues.
when people go
Yeah,
to
and
scout
either
play
you have the
when people go to
mentality
go
to
on.
do it or you don't. And if you don't, then you don't. If you do, then you do. And CDK doesn't.
Okay, but he did for Atalanta
He did
in
for
a
Atalanta.
UEFA
Like,
Cup
would you
final.
refute?
Atalanta
Would
is
you
not
refute?
Milan.
No,
I
but it
said
doesn't matter.
it does.
A
It
UEFA Cup
does.
final is
So,
do you
The
do
but
you
how you
think
gonna say this? But under the same breath, you want Skamaka in our team. What
I
makes you
want a
think Scamacca can
Scamacca.
handle
I
pressure
want
Yeah,
at Milan?
I want Skamaka in
I
the team.
No, but he
I
wants
wanted
Scamacca at Milan. What makes you think he can handle
I
pressure
wanted
at Milan?
Scamacca before he
Of
went
course.
to Atalanta. I wanted Scamacca because I want him to make the leap. I want to see if he can make the leap.
He
If
was
he
at
can't do it,
Sassuolo,
So
and then he went to West Ham,
hold on.
where he didn't.
Listen, I personally don't believe this story that players feel too much pressure. Maybe they do, but then they get used to it. I mean, the more you play, you get used to it
Okay,
in the
so
beginning.
let me ask Nathan. Let me ask you a question, Nathan. Do you think a player that plays for Sassuolo will feel the same level of pressure playing in as a guy who plays for a top, like in Belgium's top two teams? You know,
it's the
like I don't
same.
think it's the same. No, because
It's the same.
Sassuolo's fans aren't expecting their players to win every single league game or win the league. They expect
The
them.
pressure is the same,
No, it's not, because at Atlet and at Bruges they expected to win the league. At Sassuolo is not expected to win the league,
but
and that's why you find
the level
hold on.
is not the
That's why you
same.
find that a lot of clubs that aren't big clubs
But
look for
listen, if you know how
players
to play,
from big
listen, if
clubs.
you know how to play football, listen.
Either a
If
player can make the leap
Nathan,
or
last
he
time I checked,
can't.
if you know how to play football, CDK for me, I think he was far away from home, but using the same logic, if you know how to play football, you're just gonna elevate. Haaland came from the fucking Austrian league. They said the same thing. He came from the Austrian league, went to Germany, killed it, went to England, the same fucking thing.
Yeah,
You look at Mohamed Salah, you look at Mo
Clint,
Salah. Mo Salah came from the Swiss league.
you
Same
guys
thing.
don't even listen to what I say. When the player goes there, you determine whether he did the job or he didn't do the job. Holland left and he succeeded. CDK left and he failed.
I don't know if you get
That's
There's
to.
a thing that
he
listen. There's a
failed.
thing also called in football, which I don't think you're
There's a
aware
thing
of,
called
which is
failure, and
called
he
He
like when
failed.
failed
players get
at, he
homesick,
failed
which
at
is a big
Milan, but he
thing.
didn't fail in Italy.
He
Well,
he failed
When
at
players
Milan.
get homesick, it's like a big thing. It takes a toll even on their
So
mental health.
he's
That's one
mentally
thing you got to put
unable. So
into
he's mentally
consideration.
unable to handle it
Nathan,
then.
honestly, if he would have played in the right position, I don't know. I don't know if it would have had the same fate.
You be shitting
Exactly,
on
I
I
mean,
CDK.
agree.
You be shitting on CDK, but you saw like he had a stellar performance at Atalanta this season. But
But
you
I said
saying
he
it's
played
so
good at
easy. You try to
Atalanta.
refute that.
But I
And you
said
talking
he
about
played good.
it's
No, I
yeah,
never say he
but then
didn't
you
have a
saying
good
it's
season
his
at
level.
Atalanta.
You saying
Yeah,
it's his level, but then you
yeah.
also want Atalanta players at Milan. Like, make it make
I
sense, bro.
wanted Atalanta. I wanted
fuck, I
Scamacca
want
before he
Atalanta.
went there.
I would take half of that squad and bring it to me.
Right. But then you're saying, but when it's your same boy Zaniolo, like he's flogging at every club he
But
goes to, you make excuses for him.
Clint, this is the problem. This is the problem that you're making. I'm not saying that players can't make the leap up in quality. I'm not saying they can't do it. But when they're given the chance and they fail, that's on them. They mentally could not handle the
But
pressure.
he had 1 year in Milan. Like, how's that even that
Guess
fair?
what, Clint?
Yeah, I can't say, I can't agree with
Guess
that.
what?
That it's a fail.
You
I
can't
Guess
think it
what?
was
agree, bro. That he had 1 year in
I
Milan.
got
Like,
news for
he was
you.
supposed
I
to
got
just
news for
go up.
you.
I don't
At
agree with that.
Milan,
He
I
came
got news
late
for
in the
Milan.
you.
season too. Come on,
We are
bro.
not Sassuolo. At Milan, you either make it or you break it.
Bro, stop, bro.
You
Stop
don't
that.
get
That's not true.
all this extra
That's not
time. You
true,
don't get
bro.
all
That's not
this
true.
extra
Vinny,
time.
listen,
Because if
Vinny at
yeah, Vinny
Madrid, his first
Junior.
few years, he wasn't good. And you're gonna say what? Like, our expectations are that crazier than Madrid? Vinny at
Look at
Madrid, they gave Vinny a chance.
look at
And
Leao
you
and Theo Hernandez. They
Come
were
on,
not.
bro. Like,
They weren't.
your logic don't make sense, bro.
Leao and Theo Hernandez were not amazing for Milan in their first season. If
that's
anything,
not
there were a
true.
lot of Milan fans that
Mm,
wanted
I don't know
Leao to
about that.
leave.
No, that's not true.
That is so true.
Wait,
They
what
had
did you
Teo,
say? Say it again. Say it again.
I said in Leao's first season at Milan, they had at the end of his first season, I know for a fact that they had people that wanted Leao to leave. Well, okay,
Oh
they
yeah,
started
yeah,
They
calling him
they
like
want to
the
Alger to
Mariano.
stay. And I just found out today that Alger is back at Bodo Glimt, bro. He just scored.
yeah.
He's playing
yeah,
Champions League qualifiers.
he's been
What
back
the
in
Hey,
Bodo
fuck?
Glimt.
that was fucking awful in first season. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Exactly. And Theo Hernandez was the same thing, but we gave them the patience that they needed, and we
Hold
played
on,
them in the
hold on.
positions that they
But
needed to, and
but
they
you
did
also need to
succeed.
remember the situation that Milan was in. When these two guys came, we were not in Champions League.
That's true.
So
That
Yeah.
is definitely true.
you cannot sit here and tell me they're the same thing. This is you guys are getting too caught up in your
When
feelings.
Leao
This is a
came,
top flight team.
we were like fighting for top six to
Yeah.
get in. That is true. CDK came in a situation where there was more expectation from the team.
And I understand that there's more
Okay,
expectation,
then
but
this
But
is
they
a
should
I
have
don't
given him a
cutthroat.
think.
This is a
chance, bro. Just
cutthroat
after a
world.
year, like who does
But
that?
Maldini did say that CDK would need time. He did say that. He
Yeah,
said
Yeah, he
yeah.
would
he
need
said
time,
he
and he
would need
needed
time.
time.
But
They didn't, which they didn't give him.
that's not
Yeah.
my
And
problem.
then you,
He
Nathan,
should
you'll
have done
come out here and
better.
say he doesn't know how to play football. He sucks. Woo woo.
I didn't
Then you
say
go to
Nathan
that.
called him
Atalanta
bitch
now. It's like,
made,
oh my god.
bitch made. What was it, bitch made?
Yeah, he said he's bitch
Do,
made. Woo woo.
yeah,
But that same
yeah.
CDK came and he
Wait,
murdered your own Milan in
hold on,
front of you,
hold
bro.
on, hold on. Do you remember why? Do you remember why I called him bitch made?
Yeah,
I bet you
Yeah,
don't
because
even
of the
remember.
ball he dodged and all that stuff. Yeah.
Why?
Okay,
Because
I
his
agree, I
girlfriend,
agree
his
with Nathan.
boyfriend
I
was
And you
agree
cheating
with
said
on his
Italy's
Nathan.
team
not
or
even made
something.
for him. Bro, you even
I
said
agreed
Italy
with
wasn't
Nathan
made for him, bro. This is not the
when
Belgium league. You said City is tough. But he went with that same Atalanta and they won the European League, bro. You got nothing to say. You got nothing to
I
say
think
about CDK.
CDK is going to grow into his role. You know,
Yeah,
you just have
he
to
proved
let
you
him grow.
wrong.
You
Yo,
just have
just
to let him
admit. I just want you to come and admit that, yo, you can just back off and be like, yo, CDK proved me
no,
wrong.
I'm not
Hey,
Whatever
going to
excuses you try
because
to
hey,
make,
it's
bro, we
not
don't
the
want to hear
same.
it.
You perform better when there's less pressure on you,
Yeah,
plain
then
and
you go to
simple.
Atalanta have less pressure, but they played in a final of
hey.
European stuff that we even haven't played.
They
What
have
pressure is there that
One
we
less.
of
don't have?
And guess
one
what?
of
And
my
guess what? Wait,
friends.
hold on,
Come
son.
on,
Guess
bro.
what? If Atalanta were to lose that, their fans don't go crazy like how Milan fans do. That's the difference. If Milan gets to a final and we lose to Leverkusen, oh, we're pissed. If Atalanta loses, hey, you guys had a fantastic run. Good job, guys. That's the difference. And don't sit here and tell me that that ain't how it's going to be.
No, that's no. You're right.
Next,
You're right.
That's
next,
You're
true. Man.
no.
next.
You're right. No, you're right.
Oh shit! He said
No, you're right. That
next.
we will be annoyed and not like grateful that
No,
they reached
not
the final.
annoyed. We would be
But
pissed.
at the
That's the
same
difference.
time,
No, we would be pissed. When Milan lost to Liverpool in the finals, my fucking week was fucking ruined. If Atalanta loses in the Champions
Weak.
League finals, that they just move on. Good job, guys. You did a fantastic job because they are not expected to win. If they
Bro, that was
win,
back in the day, bro.
fantastic.
Those
I
expectations of
don't
Milan
care.
went down.
I
I'm
don't
sorry. That
care.
was way back in the day.
Well then, hey,
That
well
was way
guess what?
too
Well,
05, but that's
guess
way
what?
back in the day. The
I
expectations now are settled in because we
Clint,
also know our real level, bro.
Clint,
Stop
we
this
talked
whole
about this
like the
earlier.
difference between Atalanta
We
and all that
talked
stuff, man.
about this
Like, stop
earlier.
that
We
shit,
talked
bro.
about this earlier, Roy. If you have mediocre expectations, that's when shit keeps going
But we
wrong.
cannot
I will
have crazy
never,
expectation as the
I will
Madrid when
never
we've been in
settle.
Benta
But
era
the
for so
fans
long.
You,
do.
We have
Even
to
if we
adjust to
shouldn't,
reality.
the fans do anyway.
We have to adjust to reality, bro. I listen. I was there. I
I'm
seen.
not.
I seen
I'm not.
this team went to three Champions League final based on my age at least to go to three Champions League finals. Yes, we have that, but you have to adjust, bro. I was one of these guys that was deluded for so long until I had to realize, like, bro, we're no longer there. So I think at this point, anybody that's rational understand we're no longer there. We're not gonna be. Yeah, right. Are you gonna be pissed off if we're eliminated in the quarterfinal and be like, oh my god, my week is ruined because we didn't make it to the final? No. We're like, yo,
Clint,
we're
let me
not.
ask
This
you:
isn't
I
the peak.
am. I am.
when Inter kicked
I
us
would
out of the
like to be.
semifinals, how did you feel?
No, big. It's the way. Listen.
Hey,
It's the way we
I knew
played
it
against
was
them
like.
that pissed
You
us
know what it
off.
was like? It was like when it. I hate getting injections. It's like knowing you're gonna get an injection, and it's gonna hurt, and then it get it, and it hurts. That's what
Damn,
it
you
was
one of
like.
the
That's
ones
what it
that
was
pass
like
out an
watching Inter
injection,
beat
bro.
us.
Now, remember when Atalanta got kicked out by PSG? They did not have the same reactions, bro.
No,
They
I'm not
Yeah,
didn't.
but that's not the
saying.
point. I don't want to argue.
So
I don't want to argue
so
points that
No,
I
don't
but
didn't make. We didn't make
next
those
I'm
points.
not
next
arguing. I'm not arguing
next.
Milan versus. I'm not arguing versus
Yeah, we're not
Milan
arguing
versus
these points. We're
Atalanta.
talking about more CDK. You're saying this. I'm just
No,
saying just
it's the
accept.
pressure of
Yo, listen.
Atalanta.
He's gonna bench
Hey,
your boy Zaniolo,
I
bro. He's gonna
crushed
be
you
your
on
boy's
this,
gonna
bro.
come with Atalanta. He's gonna
Hey,
get
I don't
benched.
think so.
I crushed you on this. This was an easy dub for me.
Oh
No, no. Hold
Easy
damn!
on. So
dub.
basically, you're trying to say
Easy
Damn!
no.
dub.
You can't use
Easy
Atalanta.
dub.
You can't use Atalanta. So you're
What do you
saying
mean?
that. Hold on. So
You
you're
guys
saying
keep
that
What?
talking to me about
Atalanta. Okay.
CDK.
Hold on. So you're saying that a league game with Milan is bigger than for a Milan fan is bigger than a Europa League final for Atalanta fan. Is that basically what you're trying to say?
Bro, last time Milan made a final was in 07, bro. I was 15 years old.
Hold on, Hassan, you are conflating two different things.
Wrong fucking time, bro.
You see how when I use my example, I said when we lost to Inter in the semis, and then I used when Atalanta got to the semis in the Champions League. I used apples and apples.
You know, but okay, let's keep the apples and apples. Here's what was word on the street. The word on the street, the word on the street where Atalanta is, Atalanta actually played was in the last minute that PSG came back. What pissed us off, every Milan fan can agree with me. If I'm lying, bro, curse me out in the fucking chat. People were mad at Inter is because we didn't even put up a fight. It's not even because we lost. It's the way we lost what people were more mad at. Because they always knew Inter was always the stronger team. It's just like the fact that we didn't even score that got people more mad at that final. It's not your orange and apple stuff.
And Atalanta fans expect top 4, by the way. So, yeah. We have literally watched Atalanta like evolve.
It does not matter who we play against.
Atalanta went from a top 18 to a top 14
all the time. We expect to win all the time.
Yes, I agree.
Okay,
Nathan,
Atalanta they don't have that same expectation. So that's the only point that needs to be made.
Nathan, I am not disagreeing with your statement about Milan having high fans having
so that's more pressure.
It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that.
Bro, the club, not even fans,
no
the
difference
club.
between in their respective countries. If in Belgium, Adelet or whatever it is, and Bruges are the two top teams there in their country. So the fans in those countries feel the same amount of.
And now you got you got that other team
Milan
too.
fan.
So
Royal
the players
are going to feel the same level of
those fans will not sit here and tell you that the pressure that their club has is the same as Real Madrid. They won't say that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. No, listen. I'm pretty sure if you go to Argentina, I'm pretty sure them Boca Junior River Plate, they're going to tell you they got some crazy pressure over there. Like what? See, the thing about pressure can't be quantified.
No one at
I understand
Boca
based
or
on the
River
stage
Plate will
because the
tell
better
you
game, like
that
the more sophisticated
that a
is more in Europe.
is less pressure.
Listen, I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna give you an example.
Boca versus
okay. I'm gonna give you an example. Hey, hold on. I'm gonna say this. I'm be quiet because I'm about to leave soon. I'm gonna say this. I'm be quiet. I'm gonna give you this example. Listen, if you look, I like taking Africa. I like taking the AFCON. African players have more pressure in the AFCON than actually the World Cup because AFCON is something that everybody can win. So I agree with when we're talking about these leagues,
which is why
they're not gonna have that pressure in the Champions League. They're going to I'm using that because yes, you're gonna if you listen, if you're a professional player, listen to me. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. If you're afraid to speak to a girl, right? My early years, I used to be afraid to speak to female when I was young. It's the same feeling all the fucking time. If the girl's pretty, medium pretty, or pretty, it's the same feeling you have. You can't tell me that like, okay, one is times 3 and the other is times 5. It's the same type of pressure
you don't have them
or
no
fucking
more,
shit you have. That's
I don't know, Clint, but there is an argument to the pressure might be the same, but the difficulty is different.
Yeah, that can be an argument made. That can be an argument made.
That adds up to everything.
So what you guys are telling me right now is that mentality has no part in this game.
No, mentality has a part in the game. In fact, but can you quantify mentality? That's the question I'm gonna ask you. Can you quantify that?
So
Nathan, where I disagree with you is CDK's played for Belgium. He's played in the Champions League. I don't think that he doesn't have the ability to play for Milan. I think he needs to adapt.
He just needed to adapt. That's it.
Clint,
he needs to be played in the right position. That's what it was.
Roy, at no point did I ever talk about CDK's skill level.
No, you said he sucked. I'm gonna bring them fucking receipts out, boy.
Oh,
you said he sucked. You said he's not energy level. You kept saying that. You just kept shitting on this boy.
If you can't handle the mental side and you can't handle being on, you suck. You suck. It has nothing. At no point did I say this guy can't control the ball.
But Nathan,
he can't shoot the ball.
But that's where we're disagreeing, buddy. We're saying that if your statement on CDK is true, then he would have never performed in a UEFA League, Champions League, in a UEFA final, or in the semi-final against Liverpool. Like he stepped up in big games, so that shows that he has the capacity or the
Because
But
skill.
even if it did suck, eventually he's going to get over that. I mean, that
Yeah,
is something
okay,
that
but
you learn.
Roy, remember what I said?
exactly.
You remember what I said when CDK came? I said, and I was the only one that said this. At Milan, we do not have time.
Yeah.
Did I not say that? Well, guess what? CDK didn't use his time right. Too bad, so sad. Move on.
I mean, yeah, it's
Checkmate.
unfortunate. I do think it's unfortunate. I do feel like
And
he
listen, and
could have
listen.
done well in Fonseca's
When
system,
CDK
but
was on, when the
whatever.
ball was on his feet, he still did nothing with it. When he had chances to shoot, he did nothing with it.
Okay,
He
but
had
come on, you
I
have to
don't care.
understand that
I
confidence
don't
is a
care.
He
real
had a
factor
shit
in
season, guys. There's
professional
no doubt
sports.
Oh,
about that. There's no doubt about that. He had a shit season.
so you're trying to tell me his confidence was just not high enough. But
Yeah, it was Jack.
yet he played on a championship team in Belgium. So why is
Oh
his
my god.
confidence not high? Oh, it
Have
almost
you
sounds like he
no,
can't
but
handle
Nathan,
the
have you never
pressure.
heard that
Say it.
have you
Say
never
it.
heard that
Say it.
form is
Say
temporary,
it.
past is
Checkmate.
permanent? Come on, you
Checkmate
pitched
Say it.
again.
Nathan,
Checkmate
Nathan, say it.
again.
What is he? What is he?
He's bitch made. He's a bitch made
Boom.
player.
No,
Because
no.
you just told
Form
me
is
right now
temporary,
his
past is
confidence was
permanent.
not up.
It's
You just
permanent.
told
Bitch
me
made it to the core.
you just told me that his confidence was not up. But how can that possibly be when he played on a championship
Yo,
team in Belgium?
you know what's
So
my
what
problem?
is
Listen. You know what's my problem? Listen, you know what's my
checkmate?
problem with Nathan though?
Checkmate
It's
again.
like
This is
Nathan,
too easy.
Nathan. Here's my problem with you, man. You'll turn
I can
around and
do
say
this in
this thing
my
about
sleep.
CDK,
I can do
but then
this in
your
my
favorite
sleep.
Hold
players.
on. One at a time.
Listen,
One
no,
at a
no.
time,
Before I
guys.
continue, but your favorite players, you'll be like, oh no, but they need time. Your favorite players need time. When we're saying your favorite players like the Mudrich and freaking Anthony and all that, they flopped. And these are the players you wanted at Milan, but you're like, oh no, it's because their team is garbage. You make excuses for all these things. You didn't make excuse that Pioli didn't know what to do with CDK, or like we were actually shit that year, right? You don't blame that.
This is
You
gonna
just
be another
blame the
easy
players, and
one.
that's my problem.
Clint,
You're just not honest
this
when
is
you're
gonna be
doing these
another
things, bro.
easy one right here. Clint, at what point did you
Don't
hear
worry, your boy
me
Zaniolo is going to be at Atalanta. We're going to see.
did you hear me say that Antony or Mudrik had a good year?
But no. But
Did
why?
you
But why? But why you
wait a
don't tell?
minute, wait a
But why
minute,
you don't say they suck? Why you don't say they suck?
wait a minute. Did you hear me say that their second year was good?
No, but why you don't say they don't have the
Oh,
mentality to
now
play there?
hold
The
on.
same thing you said
Have
CDK.
you
Why you don't say
heard
that about them?
me even speak their names these past 2 years?
No, okay, but why you
Damn,
don't say? But no, that's
checkmate.
not the point, bro. Why you did not say the same things about them
Checkmate.
that you say about CDK? Because
They
you
suck in
swore that
England.
people were
No,
they were God.
but you know
Like they were
this is the
supposed to replace
difference.
Leao.
This
You
is the
said Mudrik was
difference.
better. You said Mudrik was better
These
than
are good
Leao.
questions, actually. These are
This
good
is
questions.
this is the difference. When you are saying that those players are bad, I'm telling you that not everyone is meant for England. Not everyone's meant for England.
But my problem is like the same harsh criticism you have for
Wait a minute.
CDK.
Wait a minute.
You go silent. No,
CDK.
hold on. Let me
No,
say
hold on.
this.
Did
You
I
go
say
silent
CDK
when
is
they
not
come that.
meant
No,
for
bro,
Italy?
don't play these semantics
No.
with me,
Okay,
bro.
fine. You
Don't
didn't
play
say
the
that
Roy,
I'm
semantics.
with for
The
Roy,
same
Italy,
thing. Listen,
but
your boy
Roy.
One at
Zaniolo
a
Did
time,
flopped.
I?
guys.
What about Keane? What about Moise Keane? What about Moise Keane, bro? Like, see, your players when they flop, you don't say nothing. See,
But you
with
didn't say
CDK, you
nothing
say
when
he's
he.
shit. He
Hold
doesn't
on.
do X,
Okay.
Y, Z. The other players, you blame the team.
Are
You
you
don't have
done?
the same level of criticism, and that's my problem with you.
Are you done?
You have to be thorough with all of this.
Are you
I'm
done?
done. Go ahead.
Because when Keane was killing it in PSG, you didn't say shit.
I did say we're
Checkmate
appreciating.
again.
I
Checkmate
was never
again,
even
my
against
boy.
Keane. We never had that
Checkmate
conversation, me and
again.
you. This is my
Oh,
first
hey,
we
time
had
saying
look.
that
this, so don't say I
At
didn't
the
conversation.
end of
mention
the
it.
day,
Roy, tell me that I did not mention that Keane scored goals and he was at PSG. Tell me I didn't.
No, you spoke well about Keane when he was at PSG.
Thank you.
But PSG, he played well, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Hey,
but I
listen,
was the
I
only one.
cannot
But
go
did
against
Clint?
Keane because Keane is from my place. He's actually
He's
from the same region as
Italian,
I am.
bro. Forget it.
I'm
He's
just holding you.
Italian.
I just want you
He's
to be
Italian,
responsible on what you
Clint.
say.
Keane
Now,
is Italian,
Roy,
Clint.
Roy. Now
No,
answer me this,
he's
Roy.
Salvadoran,
Roy,
bro.
Roy,
He's
Stop
Roy,
that.
Italian.
Roy. Answer me
hey,
this.
okay, let me
Roy,
ask you
What?
a question,
hold
Nathan.
on. Wait, I
Nathan,
need
let
to
me ask you a
finish.
question.
I need
Why
to
is it?
finish.
Hold on. Let Nathan ask the question, then we'll go to
I
H.
still
Go
didn't
ahead.
finish. Roy, did I ever say that CDK sucks and he's not meant to play in Italy?
Yes, you did. You want me to go put that screenshot? I'm pretty sure
Pull
you
it
think
up.
you
I don't
Pull
said
it
know.
up.
that,
I
bro.
don't know.
Exactly. I never said he can't play
No,
in
I
Italy.
know
I
you
never said
did.
that. I
don't know.
said
I
he
know
can't
you
play for
did, bruh.
Milan. I said he can't play for Milan. I never said anything about playing in Italy. When I say a player doesn't play good, especially when it comes to the EPO, I say not everyone's meant for the EPO.
Okay, let me ask you this, and then we'll go to Ace. Can he play for Milan in the future?
Which player?
CDK.
Under Fonseca, if we switch to a 4-3-3 and he's used as a false nine, yes. Or he can. We would have to find out. In terms
Okay.
of technical ability, he can play. It's the mental aspect. Whether he can handle that part is the problem. And we've already
But
seen one full year.
Right. So Nathan, my question to you is, what do you use as a gauge when you watch a player that you want to come to Milan to know they have the mental capacity or the mental robustness that you think that they need to fit into Milan? What parameters do you use to gauge whether or not this person has the mental ability?
The first thing I look at is their
Nathan,
personality.
Nathan, you know what's sad? Nathan,
Oh,
hold on. Before
Jesus
y'all
Christ.
continue, you know
let him
what's sad?
answer.
I'm about to send it. I'm about to send in the chat right now. I have your message where you say he's asking my book. I'm about to send it right
Hold on,
now,
Hey,
wait,
and
wait,
you're
Nathan,
going
wait,
to
I
wait.
read
think
that
it,
same
I
message.
think it,
I'm
Hold
going
it
to
on, hold
send it.
on.
I have that
Clint,
screenshot. You're
Clint,
going to see,
does
and you tell
Nathan
me now if I'm
Clint,
wrong.
Nathan
Clint,
might be living
hold
in
on, hold
Clint's
on,
head
hold on,
rent
hold
free.
on. Clint, does the message say he cannot play in Italy? Yes or
No,
no?
okay, listen. Nathan never said it, but
Checkmate,
I think
checkmate,
Nathan
checkmate.
has definitely said that playing in Bruges is like playing for Sassuolo. So if I'm sure if you would have asked Nathan, can CDK play in Sassuolo, Nathan would have said yes.
Exactly. When
But
I
I
say
But how can
disagree
you say that? But
that
Roy. But how can you say
what,
playing like Bridge playing for Sassuolo when Nathan wants Sassuolo
oh, this is
players?
so easy. This is so easy. This is so easy.
Come on, bro.
No, no, no.
This is so
But
easy.
right, I want Nathan to answer my question. What does he use to gauge a player that he wants to bring? Like, ideally, he would like them to come to Milan. How does he say, yeah, this player I think is capable of fitting the pressure that Milan has mentally? What do you use? What do you look at?
So the first thing you obviously look at is whether or not a player is technical. Because that's the first, especially if it's a player that you've never seen before. The first thing you want to see is what type of baller is he? Second, I look at his mentality on the field. Third, I look at whether or not he actually fits the system. So just like how Clint was saying, oh, I wanted Skamaka. Yeah, because Pioli's type of striker is a Skamaka, a Giroud type
Okay,
striker. So
all
therefore,
right.
that's why I wanted them. With Fonseca, he doesn't play with a big target man. Hence why everybody really wanted Xerxes because he fits that style of play.
Okay, but what does the style of play have to do with mentality?
but I that's something Ace that you can't really find out until he's like
No,
I
but
wouldn't I mean
I
how
get
can
what
you
he's saying.
know,
I
how
get
can
what
you
he's
find
saying.
out?
No, but you don't really know, but you could, but when you look at certain things, you base it off of these categories. You
But
look at their
Nathan, let me
technical
tell you
ability,
something. Let me
you
tell you
look at their
something.
mentality on the field, and then you look at your style of play.
Nathan, but guess what? In the real world, football clubs don't use that metric. No,
Football
no, no.
isn't the
You know,
real
in the
world,
real
first of
world
all.
of scouting talent, one of the parameters that they use as a reference point to know if a player is good enough mentally to fit into their club is when those players have a chance to play in big games. Because that the pressure in that game situation is going to tell
So
on
so
how they
so tell me
react
this. So
and
tell me
how their
this.
technical.
I can beat this easily.
I'm never gonna forgive you how you gave Hunt so much shit about CDK, bro. Like, no, I
I,
can't even
I,
let you
Uh,
slide. I'm
Hans
sorry. And
likes
that's
did
some
not even to say
redwood.
I'm going crazy. It's
So
just like you was
look,
going crazy on my boy
Nathan,
Hunt
you're
and all that
living
shit.
rent free
I can't even let you
in
slide, bro.
Clint's
so
head.
listen. This is gonna defeat all this.
no.
When we looked at Tonali, everybody knew he has all of the traits that we look for in a player, and we knew he was gonna do good.
No, but
And let me finish.
it
Wait,
wasn't.
stop. Let
Okay,
me
go
finish.
ahead. Go ahead.
When we got Tonali, we were in a position that we already had two established CDMs. So Tonali was afforded the chance to take time to adapt to the team. When we got CDK, we were not in any of those positions. So he had
True.
to make the
But
leap
Nathan,
right then and there, or he
Nathan,
doesn't.
Nathan, you're misunderstanding
No,
adaptation.
look at.
You
I'm not.
a player
I'm
adapting with hold on, listen. Tonali coming and being able to adapt to the team's style of play has nothing to do with whether or not he has the mental ability to
and
deal with
that
pressure.
and see that is where you are wrong.
Okay,
I just told you if you're disagreeing with me, you're also disagreeing with Maldini.
okay. I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
okay, yeah, exactly. Because
Well,
Maldini
Maldini
two
said
for
that he needed to adapt. I think he just needed to adapt, and he needed to be playing the right position. And I
and
think,
right,
and I think the more he
we couldn't
grows,
help
But
if
what I'm
so. I'll
saying is
say it
that
like this. I'll
a
say it like
player
this.
adapting to a style or being or getting accustomed and
No,
adapting to a
but
style of play
we
isn't the
cannot.
same as a player being able to. What you're saying is that CDK wasn't able to handle the pressure of playing for
He
Milan. I'm
couldn't.
saying, and we're saying, no, that's not the case. Maybe it might be adaptation or whatever, but there's a difference between a player adapting and you looking at their technical attributes and that correlating to them being
And at
able
no point,
to handle pressure. That
and
there's
at
no
no
comparison, there's no
point,
correlation.
and at
None.
no point when we were all looking at CD, because number one, people were looking at CDK highlights. I actually went back and watched his full games. So number one, I have more knowledge other than Hans than anybody else here because I took the time to go back and watch his games. So yeah, I could tell you at no point did I say he didn't have the technical ability. The first thing I said was his mental side of the game. That is the first thing I said. And you can ask
Right.
anybody about that. So don't sit here and try and tell me
Okay,
when
but
you
are
didn't put
you
in any of
taking
the work that I did.
okay, but Nathan, if you're saying that
Did
is
you scout him?
you're
Did you scout him? Did you scout
Nathan,
him? Yes or no?
Nathan,
Did you scout him? Yes or no?
no.
Oh, so, and yet I actually took the time to do it. So how are you going to sit here and tell me what's possible and what isn't possible when you didn't even take the time to do it?
Okay, but okay, fine, no
Okay,
problem.
now, yeah,
No, no,
exactly,
no. Okay,
exactly.
fine. I applaud you for taking the time. However, are you gonna
And I
sit down here
called
and
it.
hold on? You're gonna tell me you sit down here and you watch CDK.
Hey,
Yes,
Ace, don't let him slide with that. Don't let him slide with that on you.
No,
It
yes,
you're
doesn't
gonna
matter
sit
if you
down
took
here
the
and
yes,
tell
time to
me
watch it or not, bro.
you
You're no
watch
freaking
yes.
professional
CDK
scout.
and you
Stop that.
can't tell and you
And you,
saw a player that wasn't suffering from a low confidence level.
no,
No, no. Well, then I can't take your psychological
I,
analysis of CDK um with
I
any
told you,
with any true sense because if you could sit there and say that CDK didn't suffer over that season that you said you watched every single game over and watch him say and say this player is suffering from clear lack of confidence, not
I,
ability but
I,
confidence, then I don't know what to say. Then I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say.
again,
I
We're
mean,
not gonna
okay,
find
Nathan, hold
any.
on. Before he joined, were you sure he was going to flop like that?
yes, Roy. If you remember, you can go back.
That's
If
cap. Ooh,
yes,
that's cap.
yes,
Oh,
Roy, did I not tell you?
I smell some capital C.
If you can bring Hans on here, he'll tell you what I said. I literally told you verbatim what was going to happen to CDK in his first year from AB all the way to Z, and that is
Then why you
exactly
didn't
what
predict what would
happened.
happen to him in the second year? Why?
Well, then,
What stopped you from
Nathan,
predicting
Because
that?
I didn't care, because he's
hey,
not at Milan.
let's set up a little
What
scouting
the
agency
hell?
because
Oh,
we
bro,
can make
you're a
bucks,
capper, bro.
bro. We can make
I'm not.
some big bucks
I I
scouting
told
players if you're
I
that good.
I as a matter of fact, I've said a bunch of players
Hey, can
already
you
that
predict?
that
Hey,
we missed.
can you predict when I'm gonna get a raise at work? Please let me know, dog, so I don't quit my job.
Maybe next year, bro.
Okay,
I bet.
Nathan,
Thank you.
is Morata gonna score 12 goals for Milan?
That depends on how we play.
Okay. What about Liberali? You think Liberali will start this season?
Start? No, he ain't gonna start. I mean, some games he might, but no, he ain't gonna be the starter.
I feel like I'd ask you. You had to be our crystal ball.
You know what's funny too, Roy?
I agree with all of those guys.
You know what's funny, Roy?
So how you didn't predict? How do you predict for people like
Hey,
Modric who
hold
fell
on,
at Chelsea?
hold on.
How?
Actually, every time a player has gone to the EPL, I have continuously said if they are not going to Arsenal, Liverpool, or Manchester City, they are wasting their time. Tell me I don't say that. Checkmate again,
I
my
don't
boy.
take that.
Stop
Checkmate.
But I don't memorize when you talk. I just memorize. Listen, the stuff that I memorize, you
Roy. So
say,
now, Roy,
I'll
now it's
hold you
my
on that.
fault. Roy,
But
now
all
it's
that
my fault
EPL
because he
stuff, if
doesn't
they don't go
listen.
to Liverpool, no.
Roy,
But you
Next.
swore, and you
Roy,
think,
now
and
it's
you,
my fault because he doesn't listen. Ain't
and
that
you,
something?
and you think, so you think like, let's say fidget spinner, fucking, Anthony. If Anthony would have
Anthony.
came to Milan, he would have succeeded for 90 million.
I think he would have done good, but we'll never know.
That is so cap.
I wouldn't. I don't want Anthony anywhere near my team. God damn no. I rather bring Cuenca up from Forturo or whatever.
Roy, you know what's funny? You remember the year, what was it, 2 years ago when Barcelona won the title? You remember that summer I said 100% Barcelona was going to win? And all of the goon squad here kept laughing at me when they tied or lost.
Nathan, who's going to win the Serie this season?
You
who's
remember
going to win the Serie?
Roy, do you remember that? And who won?
Yeah, you did predict Barcelona was going to win that year. You did.
Not one of the goon squad came
Okay.
said, damn,
Nathan, who's going to win the league this year?
Checkmate again, Roy. This is like
Checkmate.
No. Listen,
Nathan,
you're using narratives that we didn't make,
Nathan, who's going to win the
and then
league?
you're using that to run away. But you also don't want to recall. See, that's
Jesus.
disingenuous.
Who's
But you
going to
also
win the
don't
league this
recall
year, Nathan?
all these times that you were wrong.
Roy, I need to
Because
get paid for
you're gonna get a couple right. We'll give you that. But
Roy,
the times that
are
you
we
were
getting
wrong,
paid?
see, you don't admit when you're wrong, but that's
This
a
is like
problem.
going to
Dude, that's a
school.
problem. See, if I'm wrong,
This
listen,
like going
Nathan,
to
if we're
school.
wrong, we'll give you that.
Hey, I admit
Yeah,
But when you're wrong,
who's
bro, you
winning
don't want
this
to
year?
admit. Just say on CDK that you were
I
wrong.
admit that I'm wrong too.
Okay,
I was
admit on
wrong.
CDK that you were wrong. Admit
At
that.
Milan? No. I
No,
said
not
at
for
Milan.
Milan overall, bro. You said that kid wouldn't succeed in Italy. Stop that shit, bro. Now you're gonna come and just make concessions, bro. You shut your mouth down. And listen, if you would have felt at Atalanta, you're the same Nathan would have came on you and be like, see, I told you guys, like, he's just not that good. But it
You know
didn't
what's funny?
happen. You have nothing
I
to
asked
say.
him. Clint said he found this receipt when I said this, but then I asked him, does it say that he can't play in Italy or he shouldn't be in Italy? And
I'll
he
go
didn't say
find the
anything.
Italy one, but you said to his ass, you said you never said he wasn't good. You said
said
that right now. Go ahead, I'm gonna show you this.
Personally,
I read
I've
it.
never heard Nathan say that. I've heard Nathan say he's not good enough for Milan mentally, but
Oh my
not for
gosh,
Italy.
Roy is a
Because
Nathan apologist.
Okay, Roy, you can write his quote too. Don't worry, I'm gonna go find them receipts.
No, because Nathan did say that playing for Bruges is like playing for Sassuolo. So I'm assuming that if CDK went to Sassuolo, Nathan wouldn't say that he couldn't play there.
And I even
Yeah,
said
but then he would say a
he should
year
be
later
fine.
he wants
I said he should
CDK
be
from
fine at
Sassuolo.
Atalanta. I said Atalanta and Bruges is like the same level in terms of pressure, not in terms of skill level, but in terms of pressure, it is the same. So he should be fine.
I've never heard you say that.
I've said that. I've said that 1,000
Yeah,
times.
Nathan said a lot of things that we don't know about.
Anyway, hey guys, I gotta go. I'm gonna go to bed. It's 3:00 here. Love you guys.
Yeah, Nathan, I'm
Hasta
out. Yeah,
luego.
we're gonna have
Peace
to
out,
run this
guys.
back.
All right.
I'm too hungry. Yeah.
We'll continue
Final receipt, Clint.
I'm gonna go find more receipts.
I want you guys to need to pay me. You guys
what do you
need
call
to start
this?
paying me.
What do you call when you go to courts? The procession. We'll continue the procession.
Okay.
Roy,
yeah.
Roy,
Okay.
Roy,
Bye.
right now, Roy,
Yeah.
you can tell me this. Did I not back up everything I said with examples that were at the same level as where all the teams play?
Say again?
I said when I brought up examples or things that I said, I kept it linear and I kept it the same to make it as fair as possible. Like when I used the national teams, I didn't use the Gold Cup, I didn't use the Copa, I didn't use the Euros, I didn't use the AFCON because not everyone plays there. I used the World Cup because the US, France, and Ivory Coast play in that competition. When I brought up Milan, you cannot compare Milan to Atalanta or Bruges, but you can compare Atalanta and Bruges. They are like the same level. When I brought up Milan, getting kicked out in the semifinals. Did I use Atalanta in the Europa or any other league? No, I used when Atalanta played PSG in the semifinals. That is the difference. I can bring up facts and keep them the same, apples and apples, every single time.
Okay,
They,
okay. Hey, you know, how many checkmates did you get today?
bro, I fucked them up, and they know it.
Well, listen. Hey, listen. I'll be honest with you. I did not want CDK in the team.
But
I thought he
neither
was
did
the wrong
Maldini.
player. But
Neither
hold
did
on,
Maldini.
no. I'm not even going there. But I wouldn't have thought that he would have had such a bad um, season because he did have a bad season. Where I disagree is just because your first season you display mental problems doesn't mean it's always going to be like that. That's
Of
where I
course,
think I
of
disagree
course.
there.
And remember, and that's why I said when he came to Milan, you got to remember we were in a position that you could not fail because who played in the position? Diaz and CDK. Diaz,
Right.
we already knew was going back to Real Madrid. So
He essentially
CDK,
came to replace Kissy that season, I think, or replace that body. So he
well,
had big shoes to fill.
right. So
Not a
right. So
position wise, but body wise.
right. Right. So he had to, the only position that Pioli was going to play him was that cam, which I already said he was not going to do well
Yeah,
there.
and he
But
messed up
the
there.
fact is, the
Purely messed
fact
up there.
is, the fact is, when he was on the ball, he was very weak on the ball.
But this Nathan is where I don't know. If he would have played as a false nine, he might have had a great season.
Maybe so, but
Yeah,
Pioli, yeah, maybe so. But again,
yeah.
he did not. He CDK did not establish himself enough as a big player to warrant a stay at Milan. I know players need time to adapt. That is why I brought up Tonali because with Tonali we had Kessie and we had Benacer. So Tonali was afforded time. With CDK, there was no one above him because Diaz was not a Milan player. So CDK does not have time. He has to establish, even if
Yeah,
you don't have
that's
a
true.
crazy good season, you still have to show that you can handle the pressure. And
They were
CDK,
expecting results from him right away. That is true.
right. So if you don't produce, we know that these scouts are retards. We know this. So it's up to the player to make that adjustment. And no matter of fact, let's look at Adley. Adley has not played his position one time. But what did he do? He said, I'm going to change my game and I'm going to play as a double pivot. And he was our best double pivot player because Benacer's been injured. He was our best double pivot player. And Pioli even said that tactically, Adley's better for that position than CDK and RLC. So again, I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it.
All right. Well, you will,
Hey,
because
hey,
Clint and Ace
Clint ain't
are
gonna find
coming
it.
for you, bro. They're
Hey,
coming for you, bro.
these guys are walking through a train when the cargo has already been disconnected. They're gonna fall off a cliff.
All right. Well, okay. So listen, I don't know. It is. It's a good debate. It's an interesting debate, and I'm sure it's not over.
Hey, I want
All right,
Clint to
man.
find. I want Clint to find it. I bet you he won't be able to.
Yeah.
Hey, hey,
Uh,
I need you guys to like this stream, like and subscribe to this channel because you ain't gonna see shit like this ever. We don't say we're not kumbaya here. We tell it like it is. So, like, subscribe, and join, man. Have fun and join.
yeah, for sure. All right, man. So that was fun. That was fun. That was good stuff. Great conversations today, all around.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. And we're all friends too, guys. By the way, we're not like out killing each other for real. Like we're all good friends and stuff. We all have fun.
yeah. All right. So I guess well, the next live is probably going to be this weekend. Maybe we're going to do another one if we get a new signing. But obviously, after the Barcelona game, we're going to have to do another live and see what the deal is. But yeah, man, it was good stuff.
Yeah.
So
I had
So
fun. I
good.
miss
A
coming on.
lot of next checkmate. Next.
Hey, if you can't debate, you got to know how to debate. If you don't know how to debate and you go up against a debater, you're gonna get killed. Hey, that's just
I was just one of the juries. You know.
hey, checkmate all day, every day.
All right. Well, they're coming for you, bro. They're coming for you. So we'll continue. We'll
Yes,
continue.
sir.
All right, Nathan. Let's close here. Let's close here. Even though we could go on, but let's just close here. All right, dude. So yeah, join. See if you can join this weekend.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. We'll see if my wife has anything planned or not, or if I can, if I can join, I'll definitely join.
Are you playing the new FIFA?
Oh, fuck me, I cannot stand this game. I can't wait for 2K to come out. When 2K FIFA
What's
comes
2K?
out, is
What's
2K
2K?
is making FIFA.
What
Uh,
what what about EA 25 or whatever?
you mean FC 25?
Oh, FC 25. Yeah.
I mean, I'll end up getting it just so I can compare the two games. But I hope 2K FIFA will blow it out the water.
Mm,
But I'll play though. I'll play.
yeah. Oh, Friday maybe we're going to do a FIFA stream.
Ooh. Hmm.
So Friday let's try and do a FIFA stream on Friday. Let's see if we can do it.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I'll
Let's
try.
see who's available. Let's see who's available. Who's not.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
not,
yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah, just let me know.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's close it here, guys. Everybody, thank you for joining. Click that like button, subscribe. Forza Milan, fuck Redbird, and yeah, have a good night, everybody.
Yeah. Forza
Peace
Milan.
out. Ciao.
Checkmate.